We are live, and I'm on camera for just a moment. But folks, welcome into our Comic Creators Hangout stream. We got some more people coming, but I am your host, Jeff Hicks. I am the creator of Stealing Solo, Woke Busters, Tits and Art, as well as more. I'm joined... Oh, hey, somebody's got a copy of Stealing Solo, the Phantom Menace edition, huh? Ooh, that's a nice book. That was a lot of fun to make. I would pull out a copy myself, but I only got this comic here. So, I don't know, man. You want to trade? But we'll talk about these books in a second. Let's give everyone the proper introduction. So the man you see on camera beneath me is one of my collaborators. We've worked together on this book right here, The Everlasting Survivors. It's a wonderful story we're going to talk about, but say hello to Oz.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Dude, it's a pleasure. Folks know the story of us. We met at a con. He asked me a couple questions, and years later, we drew a book together. And years later, we're still talking about that, getting people to know about that title. So it's exciting. Our story is as good as the comic, man. Maybe one day we'll do a comic of that. That'd be too meta. But, maybe that'd be fun though. Now, speaking of fun, there's another comic creator that's on the stream tonight. We've had him before, but each time has been better and better. And tonight's going to be no different. Say hello to Drew from Comics Elite.
Hey, I'm Drew with Comics Elite. Pen name is Dolan, and I'm the writer for Born of Blood. And my pen name is Dolan, and currently on issue 5.
Dude, congratulations on all the success, man. I follow you personally as well as all the professional stuff. It's just really nice to see all of that success, so I'm really happy for you, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a wild ride the last 2 years, and it's only getting crazier.
Now, I would love to start things off properly and talk to everyone, but we had a super chat roll in, and if we hit this number, we have to stop everything we're doing. So, folks, if you like math, prepare to learn something.
You know, they say all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Small Joe, and you can see that statement is not true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. So you got a 25% at best at beating me. And then you add Kurt Angle to the mix, your chances of winning drastically go down. See, the three-way at sacrifice, you got a 33 and a third chance of winning. But I got a 66 and two-thirds chance of winning because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me, and he's not even going to try. So, Samoa Joe, you take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning at sacrifice. But then you take my 75% chance of winning, if we used to go one-on-one, and then add 66 and two-thirds percent, I got 141 and two-thirds chance of winning at sacrifice. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at sacrifice.
Thank you, Sjorgen. We just started the show, but folks, Sjorgen says hello. So Bruce seems very impressed by the Steiner math. So folks, thank you to Sjorgen. I can get those words out right. Thank you, Sjorgen. We appreciate that. And Oz, you're a longtime wrestling fan. How do you feel about Steiner math?
I love Scott Steiner. I love Rick Steiner. I love Bronson Steiner, who should be called Bronson Steiner. They're a great family. All very talented fellows.
Definitely. I like Scott Steiner. I like the whole family in the ring, but Scott's my favorite for the promos. The shit he used to say, dude.
It's hard to beat a guy who can talk like that.
He's fat! I just love how he would scream about Samoa Joe. Dude, wrestling's the shit. Folks, if you're going to come out to WrestleMania, come out and hang out with us at the WCBS WrestleMania Fan Meetup, March 30th and 31st, April 1st and 2nd, here in California. The first day, we'll be down in Santa Monica at Joe's Pizza, having fun, hanging out, just meeting up. The next day is the day you probably want to come to, Universal Studios for the Super Nintendo World. And then Saturday and Sunday, we'll be at WrestleMania, so you can come tailgate with us, hang out, have a good time. That's all we know how to do. So WCBS, follow us on Twitter, get all the updates, and you will find out everything you need to know there.
So this Saturday, my channel, Mr. Super Oz, will be at AEW's first ever house show in Troy, Ohio. And by the channel, nice. But, whatever. Because I am my...
Go out there and interview MJF. He's the champion.
Oh, I've never interviewed anybody on the channel, but that is a damn good idea. As far as, conversing with... the world champion. That would be stellar.
I interviewed Ruby Soho for the channel. She was so nice. A lot of wrestlers are super sweet, and well, the ladies are super sweet, and a lot of the dudes are cool and chill. So ask everybody, dude. You'll never know who will agree to an interview.
So at this moment, I know Mox, Cassidy, Claudio, Baker, and Anna Jay will be there, but those are the only folks that. Big Cass and his tag partner Lee Moriarty will be there too. But those are the only people I know that are 100% going.
Oh, okay. It's just AEW is such a small company when compared to WWE, so their house show should just have all the talent. I'm surprised they're just not gonna,
Well, it's their first one, so I just don't know who's gonna be there.
Oh, okay. My first house show, I saw a main event that was Stone Cold and Chris Benoit. Wait,
Ooh.
I think it was Stone Cold and Chris Benoit and somebody else versus The Undertaker, Kurt Angle, and it was Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle, and The Undertaker versus Stone Cold and somebody else. It was awesome. Wow. Sadly, The Rock wasn't there.
My first house show had John Cena and Kurt Angle on top. It was the height of Thugonomics.
I was there. I went to all the shows too.
Yeah, I was 16. It was the first time I'd ever gone anywhere on my own, and just got a car and was like, got to go to the show.
Now, folks, we're going to start talking about our projects in just a second. Thank you for joining us, but I want to give a quick shout out to everybody in the chat. I think Royal Deluxe has been decimated, but I have to thank Matt G, Clone Geek, Zach Z, Hank VP, Bruce Lindahl, and Adama right now, who's joined our membership program. Folks, I'm going to have the X-Men ready probably tomorrow. I had to work on tomorrow's video today, so that's being taken care of. But you guys know what it's like to work on projects. You know what it's like for things to take a while, and you know what it's like to be excited when things are done. Now, Oz, we're going to talk about the Survivors first, since you and I have been, we both worked on this book. So let me share the Indiegogo link, and we have I can congratulate you, man, right here on the air, because you're past your goal. You're 105% of the way there. So, folks, this is a winning formula. People like the everlasting Survivors. So make sure you guys check it out. Let me drop the link right now. But Oz, I'm going to share this page, and I'm going to let you tell everyone about the project.
Thank you, sir. This is a concept that I met up with you in, well, I didn't even know I was going to meet you, to be honest. But when I met you in Cincinnati at the Comic Expo, I was telling you generally about my life, but how that I had this concept where there would be a team of heroes and one of them was a wrestler. That was important because the art that was on your desk, table, I mean, you had a bunch of wrestlers, and that instantly brought me to your table. I like to jokingly say on my channel that The Rock is the reason we're friends. Although more than Rock, you had Kane and Jason David Frank and all kinds of stuff. But I know you love The Rock, and so I like to say that The Rock is the reason we're friends. But yeah, so it is as a trio of heroes who can come back from a death blow. And so when they return from the death blow, they have a new abnormality that changes them. If you keep going down past the words, there are more pages of art. So I posted the first, maybe I'm wrong. I thought that I posted 10 pages of the 68-page graphic novel on there, but I also dropped you a link to be able to pop up any page that you want in the Dropbox if you would like. If there's any particular thing you'd like to show off, like maybe the new cover.
Yeah.
So, like I said, so the reason that the project to me had to come to life is because it was just a thing that I couldn't get off my mind. And after getting out of the wrestling business, I had stories that I still wanted to tell. And I knew that due to my love of comics and my love of wrestling, I wanted to blend these things together. That's why one of the heroes is a wrestler. And yeah, when I met up with you and struck up the friendship, it was the perfect catalyst to make this vision come to life. We met up multiple times to hammer out ideas, whether it would be visuals or progress of the story, different things like that. Generally, we would tend to meet at cons. Oh yeah, this this cover, even though you didn't draw it, you are the reason it exists. Because had it not been for you, I would not have met February Ferdian, the man who both drew, inked, and colored this piece of art.
He's great. He's folks, if you wonder who February is, February's the guy that colors Wokebusters, all those beautiful pages. He's the guy that colored the Stealing Solo stuff. He's the guy that colored the trading cards that you got, the fridge magnets. The only thing he didn't really color for me in terms of Stealing Solo was like the stuff from Anna. Like Anna, that Star Wars girl, she did, this is the sticker version of that cover that she painted. But yeah, February, oh my God. That
You mean
dude,
this cover?
Yes, that cover. You don't say. Hey, Vinnie, what's up, man? Say hey to everybody.
Hey, man, how's everyone doing here? I'm just jumping off of another panel. And yeah, I can't wait to talk about comics.
Hell yeah, dude. Right now we're talking about Oz's stuff. Then we're going to talk about Drew's stuff. So if you want to get whatever you want pulled up to talk about, we'll get to you in that order, man. I'm excited because you got some great looking stuff over there.
Thanks, brother.
I got a stack of his too.
Dude, why do you think I'm friends with Vinny? Besides him being cool, I like the art. We got a lot
Absolutely.
to talk about.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
So now,
Yeah,
Oz, you
Go ahead.
say? No, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just going to say, I'd love to know how he got that standee that I got for the Shadow of the Kraken. I love that thing.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm actually planning on doing a bunch of those. For the next campaigns, like each campaign, I want to do some characters from my universe. That way, eventually, everyone kind of can get all the main characters, and have like a little lineup, a cool little collection of all that stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's a great idea.
Thanks, man.
So February is one of the best people that's working right now that nobody knows the name Oz. But this cover right here, dude, this thing turned out beautiful. Now, folks, you got to remember, when we're working on this stuff years ago, the character Oz came to me with a giant poster tube full of drawings done by him. And he's like, this is what the characters look like. I'm trying to do it. Could you, take it and turn it into something? And take it into, turn it into something from this. And I was like, yeah, man, we worked on it. It came together beautifully. It's really exciting to see another artist do a cover. And so tell me a little bit about this cover as well.
So, much like both of your covers, honestly, I told the artist that did the final 15 pages of this graphic novel, I said, you can make the cover whatever you want. So he actually gave me two, and this is an homage cover that he did, paying homage to a classic Batman cover, which he, added a new character to, because there are 3 characters in the shot and there are only 2 in the original. But it's just, it's bright, it pops. I just think it's beautiful. And I had no idea it was even coming. I just said, hey, whatever you want to be your cover, I will pay you for, because, I trust you. And that's just generally how I like to operate. Obviously I want the story that I write to come to pass, but when it comes to the fun stuff, the extras, if you will, the things where there's freedom, I want to give as much freedom out there as possible to, that way everybody feels like they're a part of the process. It's actually funny. So this guy, Nick Crook, after he finished the 15 pages of Everlasting Survivors and the campaign ended for the first try on Indiegogo, which, I badly promoted. I rushed to market, if you will. I came to him and I was like, okay, so I got all these ideas and I start laying out all this stuff. And he's like, and I was like, oh, you're quitting. And he's like, yeah, after proving to myself I can do it by producing your pages, he's like, I've got all these stories in my own mind that I've been wanting to do for years. And so, I've had friends tell me that I'm, basically a big brother, big sister program for artists. So I get the confidence ready and then they leave the nest.
Well, I got to tell you, dude,
Nice.
I'm glad that whatever you want to call it happened. I'm not happy to happen with us because, I had a great time working on this project. And if I had more time, you and I would be doing tons of more stuff. But I did get to be a part of this in a certain way. And this is what I wanted to share with everybody here because, folks, I got to contribute some new art to this as well. And you may not have seen it. So this was the poster that I did for the campaign, the Everlasting Survivors.
Yeah,
It
I've seen this one.
Yeah, dude, it was so cool because Oz was like, hey, man, would you want to do anything else for the book? And I was like, yeah, I'd love to do like a cover or something. And so I just drew it up and sent it to February, and then Oz. That's how it worked, right? I drew it, sent it to February, and then you saw it pretty much complete, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I saw you drawing it at Horror Hound, because I recognized the characters even upside down. I could tell what you were or who you were drawing because they're so close to me. You were doing a live stream, and I could tell what you were doing. I obviously couldn't make out exactly what it was, but I was like, I know what's happening right now. Oh, that was such a good day.
That's great.
Thanks. I had fun with this, man, because I don't get to do tons and tons of superhero stuff. The few art jobs that I have locked in for either commitment or money or this or that. Wokebusters isn't superheroes, but I added a ton of action to make it fun for myself too. And Stealing Solo is just people talking, but I like the dialogue. I'm proud of that. But man, it was so great to do this. Especially this was the first piece I did with my new iPad. Like the first thing I did where I penciled and inked it and had it colored. So this is a special print for me. But what I like about it is, the action of the book, man. This comic book, folks, takes place across a couple locations, but there's a really great fight scene in a bank. And so that was one of my favorite parts to draw, and that's why I chose this cover. You gave a lot, you talk about giving artistic freedom. For anybody that works with you in the future, I can vouch for that. Oz just says, hey, man, I need something with these characters, and you're off to the races. So I had a great time working on it with you, and I had a great time being a part of that. And I know the audience is going to have a great time reading it because it's a fun story, dude. It's action-packed. Look, I got a copy right here. We can show any page we want, but we got action, drama, suspense, romance. These characters, this book has it all. So, Oz, what would you do? Is there a sequel coming out in the future? Do you have more with these characters that you want to do, right?
Absolutely. So, at minimum, there are 2 follow-up stories, a volume 2 and a volume 3. But however, that's, like I said, at the absolute bare minimum, because currently I have Dom, the blue guy in front of us right now. I have his origin story like this close to finish. Like it's just honestly, I love it, and I always struggle to compliment my own book because I feel like it's egotistical, but the fact is, like you said it to me recently, that you went back and reread this and you had a good time. Well, I sometimes catch myself when I'm rereading it being like, man, that's some really good, can I say bad words?
Of course, we're world-class bullshitters. What do you expect?
Yeah. Why am I even asking? I wanted to say it's such good shit. Like it's in the title. What am I worried about?
Exactly. Right. Anytime you can reference Vince McMahon is also allowed on this channel.
Oh, right, and that's why that's in my vernacular, obviously. But yeah, legitimately, I'll catch myself getting lost in the story. Again, I don't like to say it because I feel like it's braggadocious, but it's just the truth, because there are things that are set up in the first act that are built upon in the second act and pay off in the third act. I know it's really simple shit, but like, damn it, I couldn't tell you the number of times I've picked up a book in the modern age and not one piece of that puzzle is realized. Nothing is set up in the first act, nothing is continued in the second act, and you finish the book and you're like, what the fuck? I mean, what was that?
Again, you don't have to censor yourself.
So on my channel, I try and be clean, so that's why I'm catching myself.
Oh, I appreciate it. YouTube's weird about this stuff.
And that's the whole reason I try to skirt or whatever. I try and paint within the lines because I don't ever know what's going to make them mad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every time we do a live stream, I have limited monetization because it's like, oh, how many times did we say the F-bomb?
Believe me, Vinny, I look at the back end numbers and I'm like, oh, that's why. Okay, I think about all the crap we say on our podcast. And I go, really? That? Like, we don't even go extreme. Sometimes just Kendo bitching about Woodrow Wilson is enough to get us limited funds.
Oh, really? Yeah,
it's
crazy.
Yeah.
But you fight it. You fight it every time. Because I've won so many.
It makes the audience laugh.
Yeah, it's funny. The only thing I've ever been struck on is WWE strikes me anytime I use more than like 3 seconds of a clip. Mm-hmm. And I've been struck twice for using the Giant and the Yeti double humping Hogan.
Oh, wow. Yeah, one of our buddies, he'd always have when McMahon dropped the N-word and Booker T's like, what did he say? Oh shit.
I love the Booker T Hulk Hogan "We Coming for You." It's just something I would never put on the channel, but if you could, that'd be my favorite button to press. That is my favorite wrestling promo of all time.
Yeah,
he fucks up so bad.
There were some classic ones, dude.
Dude, I love it. I love wrestling. You know that. I'm trying to pull up a couple wrestling pages to show folks some of the match in Everlasting Survivors because it was great, dude. You told me, hey, we need a wrestling match. And I don't know if you laid it out or you just kind of explained what you wanted. Okay.
I basically booked it as if I was having the match. So for the time that I was wrestling, I almost exclusively worked as a bad guy. I had one night as a babyface on 9/11 of 2011. I worked babyface, but every other night I'd ever been in wrestling, I worked heel. And so as a heel, you tend to be the one dictating the pace of the match. And so, like I said, I scripted it as though I was having the match. So, lock up, headlock, shoulder tackle, all the action, all that beautiful cravat right there down in the left-hand corner.
Nice.
I like that this is a 2-page spread. For those who don't have the book, this is a 2-page spread, so it's a bunch of you can watch this wrestling match. Here, I'll pull up the book real quick so people can see how it flows. But, dude, I really like, you have a lot of symmetry and pacing in your book, similar to some classic comic books. For those who can see me, there we go. So see, folks, it's just both pages like that. So you get a lot of the wrestling match right up in your face. And there's promos and... Like here, I can just show these pages on camera, but there's promos and everything involved. This project is.
That's cool.
I love it.
Can you find the commercial page where there?
Oh yeah, sure.
News goes to commercial, because that's another one of those concepts of freedom. So I knew that I wanted for the news broadcaster who was talking to the team's publicist to be cut to commercial, and so I just said, whatever you feel like, here's the general gist of what I want. Hey, advertise a wrestling match. Boom, you did that. Talk about icy hot or whatever with the hero that has fire and ice. Yeah, exactly. And so it was fun. And so you actually created a movie that Reece Shaw stars in called The Usher because of. And if we go just a little bit lower, you'll see another couple of people that might be recognized here.
Now, yeah, folks, if you don't know this, I got a great friend named Joel. I love him to death. He's one of my best friends ever. Joel is a huge comic book nerd, beyond what you think we talk about. It's like he started in 1980, and because of him, I could pick out artist styles, know this and that. Joel really was formative in my comic book, whatever you want to call it. So I put Joel in everything I can. If you notice, you'll see Joel in this book, Senator Joel Hastings. He's now president. But if you go and look at an old copy of Stealing Solo, the story of I Did It for America is about Senator Joel Hastings. Am I on camera? Yeah, so Senator Joel Hastings is just a running trope in all of my books. I gotta put him in Wokebusters. I know, I'll put him on a fucking campaign sign in Portland or something. There, got it covered. But yeah, that's one of my running jokes, and I forgot you just were do a page of ads, because I went to school for advertising, so this was right up my wheelhouse. And yeah, dude, I wrote all the dialogue. I had fun with this, man. I'm glad thanks for giving me so much freedom with it, because it's really fun to go back.
You wrote, you drew, you inked, and you colored. This is the All Jeff Hicks page right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did everything, including Super Slam. Now, Oz, is there anything else you want to tell the audience about Survivors? Because we can come back and talk about all sorts of stuff tonight, man. But I wanted to make sure that you got all your bases covered. And again, I'm a little biased. It's a special project near and dear to my heart, and I want to see you succeed, man. You gave me we did stuff together in the beginning, and this is a book I'll never forget.
Absolutely. Yeah, so can you pop me up real quick? Thank you. So, if you love Jeff Hicks like I love Jeff Hicks, you need to pick yourself up a copy of Everlasting Survivors, Volume 1, all day long. There are only 14 copies of Cover A, period, that still exist. And since in the campaign it says they won't be fulfilled until 7/23. If I can get Jeff to agree to this, I will drive to Jeff and have him sign any cover A that you buy, if that's okay with him.
Whoa!
I can make that happen, no problem. Yeah, folks, let's do that. Go back, Oz. Go back, Everlasting Survivors. And one thing you got to remember too, Oz, you're talking about me. Oh, Jeff Hicks, it's Jeff Hicks. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, you know, you value me like that. But folks, this is also a really good book. This is not about me. This is about a really good product.
You know what I mean?
I know, I appreciate it, but I want the audience to know out there, yes, I had a big part of this. I loved doing this. This was a lot of fun. But you want entertainment, folks. That's what WCBS is all about. And at the end of the day, this man's writing is very entertaining. You're going to get to see the work of me, another artist as well, and there's more with these characters. So this is an early chance to get in on some superheroes that you like. Everybody likes superheroes. We all talk about them constantly. The movies are still big. You know, here's the next great ones in the making.
Well,
All kind
and
of shit comes from comics.
anybody who's already backed the campaign, not the campaign, anybody who already has Everlasting Survivors, there are now shirts available, there are hats available, and there are posters. So even if you have a copy, which plenty of people do, I sold, a decent amount the first time, not enough to fund the next book, but that's okay. I set my goal very lofty the first time without the right planning involved, but this time put the goal at an achievable place. And like I said, I've put things out there, products out there, for multiple avenues of joining in. Like I said, if you've been there before, pick yourself up a shirt. Lots of people have done it. Get yourself a hat. It's a cool logo, Gamble Comics, because I took a gamble on myself and my ideas, put the money where the idea was, made it happen. So that's why I call it Gamble Comics. Yes. So thank you for letting me have this moment to promote.
Oh, dude, you are more than welcome, man. Folks, remember, the way you can support independent art is by picking it up, checking out the book. So I'll drop the link again right now. Actually, it's right there in the chat.
One more thing real quick.
Of course.
If you're unable to back the book right now, I would ask that you go to Mr. Mr. Super Oz and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is the best way for you to stay informed about what is going on with all of these heroes and this company.
Folks, it's Mr. Super Oz channel, right?
Yes, Mr. Super Oz is the name of the channel.
And I've been over there to talk about wrestling before, haven't I?
You were there once for Ready to Rumble. It was a retro movie review that led into an entire Wednesday show that lasted for 22 weeks and has spawned a new monthly show. But check out the channel to figure it out. Like I said, start with Ready to Rumble so you can see yourself some Jeff Hicks, and then that'll get you down the rabbit hole of figuring out what all comes on the channel, Mr. Super Oz. Videos are released every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:05 a.m.
I love that time. That's why we go live at 6:05 p.m.
Exactly.
Oh, folks, like I said, check this out. Links in the chat right here. We're going to be talking about all kinds of great projects tonight, and we have another exciting one to talk about in just a moment. But we had a super chat from our friend John Thomas directed at Oz that says, Oz, beware the killer zebras in Ohio. Did you guys hear about that?
No.
Yes.
Zebra ripped the guy's arm off, and now they're going to kill the zebra.
Yeah, I heard about. Oh my god.
Why is a zebra in Ohio? Why is a guy that close to a zebra? And what did he do to fuck with a zebra to get it to bite his arm off?
Those are all very good questions.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yes. I'd say so. Holy crap.
Tune in tonight at 11 to find out.
Dude,
Yeah.
if I could go back in time and make a comic book in the 80s, it would be crazy. I wouldn't do cocaine these days, but if it was 1984, why not? It would have been cool. I also would have been alive, so it doesn't matter.
It was one of those drugs. It was very social back then.
Dude, I was James Cameron was talking about Avatar and the success that came with Titanic in some random interview, and he likened it to cocaine, and he's like, yeah, I used to do cocaine. I quit after a week, unlike other people, but I was doing it. I'm like, oh, okay, man, it really was everywhere in the 80s. Like,
they were on platters everywhere. It was crazy. You walk into a party, and it was like, yeah, here's a straw. Go for it.
I can't imagine. I mean, I'm not in any way jealous or want to be a part of that, but I just couldn't imagine, like, walking in and it's a mountain of Scarface in front of you. Like, oh, well.
Yeah, dude. But the movie sets were like that. They said up until about, I think, the early 2000s. Yeah, they said some places were still like that. So it goes to show you how they're on another level, or they think they are.
The internet ruined everything. Or sorry, the smartphone, the camera phone ruined everything. Because back in the day, not everyone had a camera. You could party. Now that you can document shit,
Yeah,
you gotta keep it under wraps.
they're all busted.
Destroy the allure of the movie star.
Look at McMahon. He's going to every from the referees to the other assistants and stuff working for him. He's like, when's it gonna be my turn?
Sorry, Vince. It's not good shit.
But the son of a bitch, he got his way back in.
Yeah, dude, he's gonna run WrestleMania. I'll be there, yay.
Oh man, that's gonna be awful.
Now, let's talk about something which is the opposite of awful. Awesome. Let's talk about an amazing project. Not only is it an amazing project, amazing series of books, it's an amazing success with an amazing creator. So, folks, we're going to tell you about Born of Blood right now. Let me drop the link in the chat, or in the group right there, so everyone can see that. Drew, my man, you have 5 wonderful comic books out right now, part of your own series, Born of Blood. I'm going to show the link right now. People, you could go to the website, Merck Publishing, and get this book right now. You don't even have to wait till the end of the stream. But, Drew, why don't you tell us a little bit about where this project came from?
So 2 years ago, I was just a YouTuber reviewing current comic books, which I still do every week, reading at least 30 to 50 new comics every week. And Sean, who owns Comics Elite, started a new publishing company, Merck Publishing, and I had reviewed their new comic Death Rage, and I had mentioned to him that I liked the idea of the Spartan aspect of it, going back to Sparta. That's a very interesting concept to go with in the story. And then I think about a day or so later, I go into his office and he asked me, hey, would you be interested in writing the Spartan series? Telling the whole line where it begins, because he knew I competed in local comic book competitions, comic book in a day competitions. So I said, sure, nervously. So I just started doing all my research I could into Sparta, ancient Sparta, and I eventually, with Sean's help, I settled upon King Leonidas' wife. Her name was Gorgo in real life, but Sean said, no, that sucks, change it. So changed it to Giaris, which I got it from an island in the Mediterranean called Giara. So went with that. In issue 1, I just decided to make it, if I'm going to go, this is my one and only comic, I'm going to make it count. And yeah, issue 1 made almost 100K on Kickstarter, just under it. Actually, I think after Backer Kid, it made around 125. And then we went out into stores after that, and each issue has made at least 50, 67. I think issue 3 made 77K on Kickstarter. Tim Vigil did the main cover when it went into stores. That is like a dream, having Tim Vigil do a cover, artist of Faust, Love of the Damned. But I couldn't be happier about this. This was the story of a lifetime I got to tell.
So I've had the opportunity to read the books myself. I've enjoyed those thoroughly, folks. You can hear us talk about those on previous streams. But man, it's always so nice for me to just see somebody that I know get this kind of success. You're a huge comic fan like I am. You get the stuff. It's so nice that you get the reward of it too, because we complain about modern Marvel and modern DC constantly, folks. We complain about these people that run the big businesses don't get it. And so you run your business like the big businesses should. Your books are better than their books, and your successes are greater than their successes. So I'm very happy just to know that it's worked out for you so well. And I take pride in knowing you, man. This is a great achievement. Now, you said you're in stores right now. What was it like? I see the posts, but I want you to tell people about it. What's it like when you walk into a comic book store and you go, "Hey, that's my book"?
It's that dream I have had since I was in first grade. First grade, I always wanted to be a comic book writer and to have a comic book in stores that I wrote. And the best moment was being at New York Comic Con, where I had 3 different exclusives at New York Comic Con, one from the Comic Mint, 2 from Comics Elite. And after the show ended, I went to the Midtown Comics in Midtown, and they had Born of Blood on their shelves.
Oh,
and
my God.
I could not believe that. And I ran into the current artist on Moon Knight, and he was in the store shopping. So I showed him, hey, look at you got your book on the shelf. I got my book on the shelf. What about that? And I signed some copies for their store. There is no cooler feeling than fulfilling a dream that you've had since you were a kid.
And dude, you did it at the comic book store of comic book stores. You didn't just go to like Rock and Rooster in Cincinnati, Ohio, cheap plug for a great store. No, man, you went to New York and you did it. The home of Marvel and DC. Spider-Man could be swinging around at any moment, and there's your book on the shelf. Dude.
That is so heartwarming right there.
It's great.
And they're good people. I've known the guys at Midtown for such a long time. Yeah, man. Dude, that is absolutely amazing. Hell yeah. Congrats to all that.
Thanks.
So I got to ask, what's next?
All right, so issue 6 will be coming out at the end of, but a little less than a month from now. Jeff, I just met you. We can't share it just yet, but I sent you an image. It's a double in our Facebook Messenger. What I sent you is an image. It's a double pager, so that's going to be in issue 6.
Whoa, that is awesome!
Yeah.
Now, is this the same artist that did the interiors for the first one?
No. So Carlos was falling behind, so we got a different artist. I am currently working with Aurelio. His last name is Aurelio Mazzara. He's worked with Marvel and DC. He's done a lot of stuff with them, and he got to be my interior artist. He loved what I was giving him to do. So Jeff, you'll appreciate this. We're just talking about modern day Marvel. He thanked me profusely because I want to say thank you for not having me draw people sitting around and talking, because that's modern day Marvel. Characters just sitting around and talking nonstop. And my comics, people are dismembering people, dead bodies, all that stuff, and monsters. And yeah, he loves drawing that stuff. And because of this, I'm getting to work with Murat Michaels now. Murat Michaels is Rob Liefeld's childhood friend, second person to ever draw Deadpool. And I will be working with him on many projects coming up in the near future. And I just got to write Red Sonja and Vampirella Meet Naughty and Nice. Got to write Vampirella for the first time. Got to write Red Sonja for the second time. This is insane right now.
I love this show so much.
What, just the stream in general?
Yes.
I was having a great time too. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, it just feels so good to feel like that the dream is achievable, and that's why I love being here with you guys. I know that all of you have gotten to that place where I'm, climbing toward, but I love this story. It's just it's amazing.
Yeah. So
it is.
Sorry, just real quick. Yeah, I can't. Murat's kind of swore me to secrecy, but he said stay tuned later this year, like at San Diego and New York. There'll be some stuff coming out. There'll be some announcements. Yeah.
Awesome, dude. It's really cool, and I mean this to congratulate you, but I'll put myself here. It's really cool that I got a buddy and a colleague that's like, yeah, we got something big coming out at San Diego Comic-Con. Like, it's one thing to say like, hey, my buddy's got a booth down at the Comic Expo with me or whatever, or hey, this or that. I'm like, no, this guy I work with on YouTube and stuff like that, my friend. Yeah, San Diego, man. New York. The comic book store of comic book stores, Midtown. Like, dude, I love it. And Oz, dude, the thing that you're talking about, you're further along on the journey than anybody else, or than other people too, because you got the books, you got the physical product. Every idea is awesome, but if you don't have the desire or the drive like you do, or Drew, or Vinnie, or myself, to actually make it and get it out there and complete the thing, then it's just an idea. You've taken your project further than 95% of people ever will. So, dude, folks, tonight, make sure you're grabbing all these comic books, because like Oz says, his has got a limited supply, but now Drew's book is everywhere. You guys can go, you can get the Born of Blood PDF, you can get the Tim Vigil cover, you can get the Hal Loren cover, you can get the Ron Leary cover, you can get all kinds of these wonderful covers. Now this one right here from TriStar, I had the option and the opportunity to work with him myself. We have a Wokebusters cover. Now, folks, you haven't had a chance to get that yet because I'm still working on the project. I don't want to crowdfund more stuff, but there is another cover done by this artist, and if you bought Tits and Art, you can see it in there. So these wonderful covers, you know you want to get them all. Because, like me, when I get a Spider-Man comic that I like, there's a famous Spider-Man comic that had Obama on the cover. Now, you don't have to like the president or the opinion or anything. I'm not here to talk about that. But that cover was in high demand. People had to have that book because of that cover. And then the alternate cover was drawn by John Romita, my favorite artist of all time. So I had to get that alternate cover. Then they put out the Richard Nixon cover as a joke, and this cover and that cover. I kept getting them because I'm a comic fan, and that's how everyone goes. But when these books are limited to 300 covers, and you got these great artists, you make sure you guys grab these now. We'll drop the link in the description or the chat right now. But all of this wonderful back catalog of beautiful comic book art is available on Merc Publishing. So get yourselves a copy. Get yourselves 2 copies. I would suggest personally you get one of each to read the entire story, and then go back and pick an alternate cover or 2 from your favorites. I mean, I love this black and red one right here. Dude, black, red, and white is one of my favorite color schemes. It's so powerful, and it tells so much with so little. So I'm glad you did it. Vinny, I'm sure you've done tons of art like that too, just for the hell of it.
I've done all sorts of different stuff for sure, man. But yeah, no, experimenting is always a good thing. But yeah, no, there's a ton of great stuff here. I love some of the New York Comic Con exclusives that you had.
Dude, I'm excited to talk about the wonderful stuff you got in just a second. But our friend Ziprez PJ1 Perez says, I just backed a pair of Hicks covers and a cover C Everlasting Survivor, contribution number 12. So thank you for backing the project, man.
Nice.
Now, without getting into any of the behind-the-scenes stuff that you can't share, Drew, what's it like working with a guy who's worked on stuff that you grew up liking? Like, I can't fathom if I had the opportunity to work with like John Romita Jr. or somebody like that. What's it like working with the names that made you a comic book fan?
So the one guy I got to work with, I'm working with now on another project, is Ali Garza. I'm working with him. He's one of Jim Lee's longtime collaborators at Wildstorm Comics. I'm working on a project with him. So like other projects where like Born of Blood, for example, I'm more hands-on. I'm more picky. I'm more like, no, fix that shadow, fix that arm. But with Ali, I'm just like, yeah, it's good. Like I'm a little less like strict. I'm like, okay, that's fine, that'll do. But it's kind of intimidating at the same time. It's just like, should I say something? I don't know, but like if it really sticks out, I'll say something. But if it's passable, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll work with it. Or Murat Michaels, for example. Yeah, I let Murat do his thing because his stuff is amazing.
Well, I really love the dynamic we have. I didn't realize it until now, but we have 2 writer creators and we have 2 writer artist creators. So Vinny and I take the whole undertaking on ourselves, but I find it so interesting to talk and work with writers because the process is so different between each one. And I like how you brought up, like, do I want to say something or this or that? Like, what is one of the funniest things that you had to deal with working with a professional artist? Like, not bad or anything negative, just like, did you ever get a page back that kind of made you chuckle and you're like, it's so off, I got to get it fixed, or any kind of those stories?
Actually, yes. Issue 6, there is one page in particular, there's a certain panel where if you looked at it before that we added the shadow and lining and everything, the darkness, it could come across as incredibly funny and just not taken seriously. Like I busted out laughing as soon as I saw it. I'm like, this is not going to work. So I had to provide reference photos of like, no, this needs to come across as like an insane look. So we need to get the right lighting right underneath the eyes and the face to make it look insane. And thankfully he got it, and it works. It's amazing just how thin that line is between like parody and serious. How like a shadow, how lighting can make that big a difference.
I enjoyed the interior work so much of this book, especially the first couple, because I haven't read everyone, so I've only read the first few issues. But there's a fight scene in it where the woman does like some upside down kick. The action in your book, man, is excellent. Now, do you write that in detail, or do you just kind of say, like, because Oz wrote out the wrestling match for me, beat by beat, like a wrestling thing. Do you write out your fight scenes specifically, or do you just kind of say, she fights this guard over a course of a few panels or something like that?
Oh, no, it's like, no, I am very detailed on every single panel, like where the fists land, where the kicks are, how they're going to land, how they're going to fly over each other in the air. Everything is detailed and specific. So I know there are writers who will just say like draw whatever the hell you want, like Donnie Cates. He'll just tell like Ryan Stegman. I talked to Ryan Stegman. He said Donnie just wrote draw whatever the fuck you want here on these pages. It's like, oh, okay. I couldn't do that. Like I work with Aaron Sparrow. Aaron Sparrow, he's my creative director. He's worked on Darkwing Duck, Cars, like a bunch of properties for Disney, and his series. He like the artist he works with. He just says he just lets the artist do whatever he wants. I'm like, I can't exactly do that. It's just like I got to have badass moments in my stuff. So yeah, I've got to be very detailed in it.
I found like I'm working with a new guy on just like a side thing right now, and it's interesting how his writing style is very much like this thing happens and then the character does this. But actually, I prefer that because what I've found. Like, when I write my own stuff, if I overly write it, I spend so much time just, like, thinking about the stuff and never actually doing it. I found that, like, to get the stuff on the page in more detail than people would realize is, like, for me, it just, to get a simplistic script always helps. Because it's like, character does this, character does that. And then it's up to me to do the tone and the pacing. Like, Vinnie, I don't know how you like to pace your books, but depending on the genre I'm working on, like, this thing I'm working on is horror, I'm trying to, like, slow it down to where the moment of shock is like literal shock, and then you speed it up real quick because the character doesn't know how to react to all these things happening to him. Like I think that's something that comes from me. Like, have you worked with a lot of writers, or are you mostly just writer artist?
I've done a little bit of both. My brother Frank he's the co-creator and co-writer with Through the Woods. And that one, we had a lot of back and forth. So, like, I did the first draft of issue 1, and then passed over to him. And he kind of, like, he goes, well, what if we change some of these things here and here and here? Because it was going to be more of just a straight-up horror book. And we thought maybe doing ghosts and suspense would have been even better. Because that way you have a better build-up, too, with everything. If things are too grotesque, you might scare away a certain audience, right? So tried to hit something closer to, PG-13-ish, like the same kind of violence you would see like in a Spawn book, essentially. So, because the third book in that series was very violent. And there's a couple of moments that happened where I didn't want to show too much. So, yeah, there's a little bit of back and forth. There was something that we were kind of butting heads on a bit, like on the first issue. And I wanted to do something that he couldn't understand what I wanted to do. I'm like, well, just trust me on this, because there's a part where I wanted to show a flashback, and we zoom into this wood carved box, and from there I kind of kept things in like a sepia tone. So like I when we pulled back in there, because it was like it was a carving of like trees and stuff. So from there I just kind of segued into the past, and he kind of dug it. And then there's another part in the book where it happens again, but I start to slowly add color. So as you're going through the pages, by the time you get to the pivotal parts of that, it's like I kind of pull the viewer straight into that moment. And that was hard to kind of, for him to fully understand until he started to see the pages. And he's like, oh, all right, I get it now. And like, as like you're rereading it, like you could see it clearly. It's like, all right, cool. We're in a flashback, and then bam, it almost feels like it's present day. Like you're there at that moment when all this stuff is kind of going on, because it's a very kind of crazy moment that happened. I won't say too much because I see someone in the chat as well who just bought the book, and I don't want to spoil it for him. But it's really cool how we did that. So yeah, in each book I try to do something, because it was a 3-issue miniseries that we ended up collecting, and I did a hardcover, and it's kind of oversized. So from like that point, I wanted something extra special, but each book has something that's kind of its own unique way of how we did a flashback. So yeah, but it worked, and people loved it. They said it's one of their favorite books of the year when that one came out.
Isn't that exciting, though? The comic medium can do so much. I mean, the way it would be prepared, like with the script, tells it a certain way, but then you come at it with a certain way. And I think that's really the magic, because I guarantee we all have this reaction. Oz and Drew, when you see your first pages come back, you're like, oh, the story's real. Here we go.
It's Christmas morning. It's Christmas morning.
For me, it's when the color pages come back, because I wrote and penciled and inked Stealing Solo, but I don't color for shit. And so to get those pages back is the magic. Now, Vinny, you do all of your stuff. Do you ever have those moments where like you get a page and you're like, oh, this is what it was meant to be like, or this is what it looks like in that final stage, that, you know, that aha moment?
Yeah, I was talking to somebody today about that actually. That yeah, it's funny because it's something I was working on, and I'm like, I couldn't get what I wanted in my mind. I couldn't get it down until I got to like my last few steps in the process. I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I envisioned. Like, it's weird. It's like up to a certain point, like from dropping flats and then actually doing the painting and stuff. Cause like every one of my pages looks like a painted cover. I just, there's a certain level of quality that I want with my work. It's something that always pissed me off when, you know, as a collector, when you see some really kick-ass cover and you go to flip through the pages and it's something completely different. And a lot of times in modern comics, it's like, it's junk. So it's like they're only paying for, you know, those covers, essentially those specific artists to do those. And it's like, well, why don't you have them do a full book? You know, give them some time and let them do it. Because by the time they do their solicitations and everything, like you could time it in a proper way. But again, that's something I kind of like I seen and heard from Todd as well when I was working for him. But yeah, I don't know. Everyone works a little bit differently, but yeah, I don't know. It's just there's something about the medium that is really cool, and yeah, seeing your work in print, it is pretty amazing. When you like the hack and slash covers, like the first time I actually saw my work in you know, like billboard size was over at New York Comic Con. Like they had my hack slash cover that was like 15, 20 feet high. And
cool.
I wasn't told. I was walking to my booth and I'm like, what the, like I just got there, like, oh, was it on the Thursday, whatever. I'm walking towards my booth. I'm like, holy crap, that's mine. Ran over and got a photo. They're like, oh, what? Do you mind? I said, I'm actually the artist. They're like, oh yeah, go for it.
Could you imagine if somebody would have said, no, sir, you can't take a photo with this?
I would have been like, yeah, I would have grabbed their books, thrown it on the floor over there on the other side, and then ran to take my photo.
I'm like, bro, that's my name on the thing. There we go.
Exactly. Yeah, my name was there.
Now, Drew, you said issue 6 comes out in April, you said?
Yep, I think April 11th.
And will that be available in stores or online, or how can the audience pick that up? Because, folks, you can go to Merc Publishing and get all these wonderful books right now, but issue 6 is...
Yep, it'll be...
it'll
be... So what we're doing is that we're going to be releasing them in stores, and then we're going to do like special editions on Kickstarter with like some behind-the-scenes stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like we're gonna, like for issue 3 we did on Kickstarter. I put in like a foreword talking about like what the experience was like and everything, what my thought process was. So we're gonna be doing stuff like that, putting in behind the scenes, like scripting, and yeah, just fun stuff we're gonna do afterwards. But issue 6 will be in stores. It'll be available on Merc Publishing. It'll be available at Comics Elite, and tell your local comic book shop, to order it. It's actually the FOC already passed, but hopefully they ordered it.
So, folks, get a copy. Get 5 copies today. Get that 6th copy in April, and get involved. Because the one thing you don't want to do as a collector is miss out. I know what it's like. I mean, Vinny, your buddy Todd put out a product today that people are clamoring for on the internet. And I got literally the last one before it sold out. So I'm just saying, folks,
which
you
one?
Don't want FOMO. The Batmobile, that new...
That's sold out?
Come on.
That's sold out?
On Big Bad Toy Store, it's sold out. And it's funny, because that's where I get all my toys. And I got it, and then I went to message my buddy, because I'm friends with the guy from the 3PO... Actually, I'm friends with all the guys from the 3POA podcast. Laserpants, Bobby, Vala, and Tony from Analog Toys. But I messaged Laserpants all the time. And I'm like, dude, did you get the Batmobile? And so I sent him the link, and it hit, like, literally seconds later, it was gone. But, like, Amazon and Target and everywhere else has it, so... I think that's going to be like the biggest toy of the year, is that Batman '89 Batmobile.
Probably.
Yeah, I saw photos of it last week for the first time. I didn't even know when it was going to be coming out. I was, holy shit.
No, I would have sound like a nerd. I set an alarm on my phone this morning, or last night. I was like, I got to get this Batmobile, so I'm going to make sure I don't miss out.
I did the same thing when Todd released the Batman Year 2 action figure with the long cape like a year or so ago.
On the base with the gravestone and all that?
Yes, I did that.
Cool.
I was there that morning for the first launch, and it completely sold out. I didn't make it in time. I was so pissed, but thankfully he did a re-release. I was able to get it afterwards. Couldn't get the signed one because that sold out in seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, still happy I finally got it.
I feel like my big collectible that I bought this year was not nearly as cool as you guys. I bought the Power Rangers the Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers 5-pack.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's the last of the Power Rangers I'll buy because I stopped at Zeo, and so I've got all Mighty Morphin. I got Zeo, and now I'm gonna have the Alien Rangers, which was the series between.
I remember I watched it back in the day. I don't know if we ever talked about. I mean, I'm sure we talked about being Power Rangers kids, but I still buy Power Rangers toys. Like I got a pre-ordered set coming from Mezco. I had to put a $40 deposit on it, but it's bitchin'. It's the 5 Rangers. They're like 6-inch figures, but they all have real cloth costumes and all these accessories and multiple heads. I got the dolls, like the big set. You got Gold Label Nightfall Batman.
Yes, this was like $70 on Amazon. This was
nice.
Yes, that's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
those things go for. Dude, I'm surprised. Like, very surprised how he's taken the DC line and turned it into what he's turned it into. Like, people want it like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it made him the number one toy manufacturer in North America. Like he beat out everyone, which is kind of crazy. But at the same time too, as I look what Hasbro's doing, look at some of these companies. They're actually going very woke with their shit. So.
Oh yeah.
So I have a friend with a 3D printer, so he made me a young Oz to make him a Power Ranger.
Oh, dude, that's
nice.
Awesome. What color are you gonna be?
He's actually gonna be on the yellow Alien Ranger.
Nice.
Because the yellow one was a dude, right?
It was, yeah.
Rangers?
The white one was a female.
I bought that toy as a kid and didn't realize it, and once I realized it was a girl, I don't think I ever played with the toy again.
Oh damn!
I was a sexist 5-year-old. Whoop-de-doo. Oh man, dude. Nordic. Yes, you can get all the original TMNT figures as well. I gotta stop. Like, I got Ghostbusters. Like, I got. For Wokebusters, I was able to justify this because I needed a back cover, but I bought like the whole set of the real Ghostbusters figures. It's a business expense, like, believe me.
Those aren't the originals, are they?
No.
Okay.
These are the By the way, they have a set of these. All 4 Ghostbusters is like $27.99.
Wow.
And then the car's $31. So
that's a deal. Holy crap.
Yeah, for $60 you could get all the Ghostbusters and Ecto 1. And they're 1-to-1 with the original Kenner stuff. I mean, they got the accessories and everything, so it's not like you're gonna even notice that much.
That was a great card.
Isn't it kind of hilarious? It's like all the stuff that we grew up buying and all that stuff. Now we're getting as adults. It's either
we never grew up.
It's like a re-release of the figures, or now they're super highly detailed and super articulated. It's like, well, yeah, I have to get that.
So
Exactly.
my thing is, I want to have my heroes 3D printed. If I get to the level of success I'm striving for.
When?
Right. When Everlasting Survivors gets to the level that I desire them to be at, I would love to have my same friend who 3D printed me a head for Young Oz to be the producer of the line of action figures, because they're characters with cool powers and great looks, and like, even if you've never read the book, when you see that toy, you'll be like, I want to get my hands on that. I know lots of people. Actually, I just shot a video that's releasing on Monday with a friend who said that they thought they were a Batman fan until they met me, and then they realized, well, they thought they were a Batman comic book fan. But after meeting me, they were like, oh, I'm just a fan of the character from all other things, because we had talked and he had read an equal number of Everlasting Survivors that he had Batman in comic book form. And so I was like, well, I feel complimented by that. But yeah, so the point is, everything feels within reach in the modern age. The idea that a friend can move halfway across the country and you still stay in contact, and that person is able to get you in contact with a new person that helps, facilitate things. So that's the beauty of the world we live in, and how that it keeps everybody still connected.
I love it. And that's why the independent creators are going to take over the mainstream stuff, because they're getting lazy and fat and bored, and they're not putting out good stuff. We have access to the technology. You have a 3D printed version of your head. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3D printers were prohibitively expensive, or 10 years ago, you didn't even know the thing existed. It was like, oh, you want to get a custom sculpt of your head? Oh, you got to hire somebody to cast it and do it? Nah, dude, man. We're in comic books.
And that technology, how much has changed as well. When I was working for McFarlane, they had just got some of the first real scan. It was them and Gentle Giant. They're the only two companies that had access to the to that scanning technology stuff. And it was very primitive back then. Like I didn't expect to see where it was going to end up going. It's
I was crazy. Blown away by how smooth the whole process was. I legitimately gave my friend from the Army, who I've known for 15 years. I gave him maybe 5 photos of me at a wedding on Waikiki Beach. Because I was young and beautiful at the time, so I was like, "Hey, are these going to do the job? Because if so, if they won't do it, I'll shave my beard and we'll young me up if we got it." And he's like, "No, this will be fine." And then lo and behold, he sent me the 3D model, and he's like, "Do you like this?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I like that. Let's make it happen."
Dude, get me in contact with your guy.
Reasonably priced.
Hey, Vinnie, one thing I wanted to show is you brought up how Gentle Giant had access to that early real scan technology. Mm-hmm. So I remember reading the backs of toys as a kid, and if you read closely, they licensed that technology out to Jakks Pacific to produce the old wrestling figures. And so this is like a 25-year-old figure that's a real scan figure. And this is what we had all those years ago. Yeah. And this is why I sometimes get mad at modern toys when old technology made better looking shit, and nowadays it's triple the price and it looks like crap.
It's crazy, yeah. But and again too, it's what factories they use, if they're doing any kind of quality control or not. Because again, when I was there, there was just so many different things that could go wrong at any given time. So yeah, you need to be on top of that stuff. But yeah, you could tell if a company cares or they don't care. And again, a lot of the Hasbro shit, they don't care about a lot of things. You could tell packaging is something that they threw out the window as well. And now it's just all this, it's just paper packaging. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
It's embarrassing.
It seems like you're hiding the product to me.
Well, yeah, that too. How many times you walk into a store, it's like, if I can't see the plastic window of a figure, how's the paint application on this one? Because we've seen things that are like someone who has an eye that looks like it's down on their cheek instead of where it's supposed to be. You have all these little mistakes.
Dude, the reason I stopped buying the X-Men VHS box set, these figures, I got a couple of them, and I had to get Cyclops, but my first Jubilee, her arm was yellow. They cast the arm and they didn't paint it. So it's like she's got yellow gloves, and then it goes flesh, and then it goes yellow plastic again, and then it goes shirt, and then it goes whatever. It's like,
wow.
I paid $27 for this action figure. I already bought Jubilee once. I bought 2 because I wanted the cartoon color, and it sucked. And so I didn't pick up, was it comic book or VHS Magneto or VHS Morph? I didn't get Morph. That's what I didn't get.
Morph, I considered buying, because he was my favorite X-Men growing up, but I haven't because of that precise reason. I'm apprehensive to take the leap and have faith that they'll actually do it right.
Now, one thing I will say without shilling for a company, but when Hasbro did windowless packaging, I had bought these Spider-Man sets from Big Bad Toy Store, and they were missing a piece and they had bad paint. And I sent them a picture with everything and said it was missing this hand and this was wrong. And they gave me a refund. They had me ship it back and they shipped me a new product. So if you do ever see a figure that you want to take a risk on, if you buy it online and it comes fucked up, you can send it back until you get a good one. And they pay for the shipping. So eventually what's going to happen is if they keep having returns, like all these retailers, they're going to force Hasbro to switch their packaging, because yes, Hasbro is the big company with the $1 billion behind it. But if all your places say we're not going to sell your product until you put us in better packaging or better quality control, they can't sell it. They can't. So
they pissed off so many people already. They said they were hemorrhaging just a few months ago. And in fact, you saw all their Disney Plus Marvel stuff. They all went on clearance. Oh yeah. Nobody wanted them. So I've never seen Marvel Legends go on clearance ever. and
Well,
this
Vinny.
year it was all over the place.
Yeah,
It's
I
getting weird.
took multiple pictures from when seeing Wakanda Forever stuff on sale. I'd be like, "Hey, you want me to pick you up something because I got plenty."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you had all the Disney Plus stuff and the Wakanda figures. Yeah, they're not selling.
Now,
What
Vinny,
a
you brought up.
surprise.
Now, I don't know if you knew this part, Vinny, but Ant-Man doesn't have toys. Now, it's not that important because, well, Ant-Man kind of sucked. Who wants the toys? But every other Marvel movie had a toy line beforehand. Ant-Man figures are slated to come out in July. Guardians of the Galaxy figures are coming out in April. Captain Marvel figures should be coming out late summer. So what I'm saying is, like, they're either going to get fucking front loaded with everything and stuck at the store and people don't buy it. I'm guessing personally there's no Ant-Man figures that come out. They're showing digital renders. I know they have a couple hard copies and stuff that they've shown on streams,
Yeah.
but since everything's single packed in the terms of case assortment, I don't think Target's going to buy 1 million cases of an Ant-Man or whatever of the Wasp or whatever of Kang. I think what'll happen, honestly, is retail chain, like discount ones will buy Ant-Man and all those figures, and the comic book ones will show up at Target, and you'll have Marvel Legends start to fall apart. It's not the economy, it's the bad company. It's their product. If they could put out better toys and not try to sell them on Hasbro.com or Hasbro Pulse for $90 for the Tobey Maguire figure, like, you guys would have better business if you had better business practices, we'd be happy to buy it.
Yeah, exactly. And see, that's a great point right there. And I would argue that it is also the economy. People, they can't spend as much money anymore. Let's be realistic about stuff. There's a bunch of stuff I've cut back on myself. There are things that I wanted to get, and I canceled orders because it's like, no, it's way too expensive. Yeah, looking at all that stuff, their packaging is shit now, and they jack the prices up. So a lot of people are paying between $25 and close to $30 on regular stores like in Target and Walmart for these figures. And now you're going to have C and D list characters all over the place, or again, figures from movies that flopped. Because Ant-Man, if you look at everything between their budget and the marketing budget and all that stuff, they're in the whole $150 million right now. This is their first major flop in all these years, because that is a flop. If you can't even cover all that, story wise, from what I heard from a few people who did see it, because I'm not watching any of that crap. They didn't understand what the hell they were doing. It made no sense. Your big baddie was in a fist fight with Ant-Man. Like, none of it makes any sense. It's so stupid. So you have all these problems. And then what do you have lined up? You have Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which I think that might be one that could break even. Because, again, there's going to be diehards running because they saw 1 and 2 and they like 1 and 2. Something I'm not going to get behind because I don't like James Gunn or any of the stuff he's doing. The guy's a creep, but I personally think so. And I know, like, 2 of his friends who not good people, we'll just put it that way. Like, literally, I had to save someone out of convention. I had to save another actress out of convention from somebody who's in his inner circle, who's in these movies. Not cool. So, like, I'm staying away from that dude. But there's a lot of stuff popping up with that guy and what's gone on with certain islands and whatnot. We won't get into it. But there's a lot of shit that's attached to that guy. So you're going to have people that are on the fence. You're going to have the diehards will watch it, and you'll have the ones like, yeah, I don't like that guy. And then he's destroying stuff at DC anyway at this point. So who cares? Then what do you have lined up? You have the Marvels. No one's going to see this. They got so scared they pulled this movie from their roster for a little bit, and now they're still trying to mess around with it. You have reports that she's fighting with her other cast members. You have so much stuff happening around this horrible person. Like, what do they have lined up that's going to be good? The next thing that'll make money would be Deadpool 3, because it's finally Deadpool and Wolverine, and they said it's going to stay rated R. Okay, so now you have those kind of lined up. That's one I've said it a while ago. I'd break my rule. I would watch it because I am a fan of Deadpool and I like Ryan Reynolds and kind of what they've been doing. And everyone's been waiting to see this, Wolverine with him. Other than that, they don't have anything left. Really look at their lineup. What movies is anyone looking forward to at this point that's coming from them? Blade got shit canned right now. They keep saying, oh, well, they're rewriting things. They pissed off the main actor. They said there was only like 2 fight scenes, I think, throughout the whole movie. No, 3. One was like a super short one. It's like only 2 minutes. And then the other ones are kind of short. And that's it. And like, what kind of movie is this? Blade's supposed to be action packed. What are you doing? Like, everyone was at odds with this thing. What do they have lined up for the X-Men stuff? Not much.
It's gonna be the mutants. We gotta be. It's the mutants now. Can't say X-Men.
Yeah,
That'll never make money.
well, here's
I've never understood that idea. You already have non-X-Men X titles that are available, which are X-Force and X-Factor. If you want to do a movie that isn't called X-Men, which is totally fine because we've had, you know, a large plethora of movies called X-Men plus subtitle. So if you want to call Disney's foray into it X-Factor and X-Force, then cool, but don't call it mutants. It just seems like such a cop-out. Like, it's
a lame title.
It's as if you're literally saying we cannot say the word men.
Yeah, they're grasping at straws right now, and they're holding on to these weird ideology stuff that makes no sense. Because every time they push that on the audience, more and more people, they turn away from them. How many people canceled their Disney Plus? How many people are like, yeah, I'm not watching any of this crap? They made fun of all their latest trailers that dropped. It's like Peter Pan, The Lost Boys. Not all of us are boys. What? You know, like all the mishmash stuff that they're doing with all these characters. Nobody cares. This is just stupid. You're not going to brainwash people because that's kind of their goal. It looks like they want to normalize such weird stuff. It's like, here are your classic stories. Here are your classic characters. There's no need to race swap anyone or make people LGBT blah blah blah. Who cares? Tell the good stories. People care about good stories. As long as that stuff's there, anything else could go naturally into a story. You know, if you want to make up new characters and if you want to have that type of stuff in there, there's a way of doing it where you're not going to piss off everyone. Where you when you make it their main focal point, well, this character happens to be gay and he's the star, or she's the star. That's not how you want to sell a project. That's not how you want to tell a story. You know, no one's going to be invested if it's going to be, you know, this certain aspect of them. We don't want to see that. Tell us again.
I mean,
Bruce
Wayne, did any one of us talk about the color, the sex, what they're interested in when any of us were talking about our stories? Hell no, because that's not what sells the story.
No,
exactly. It's give us good characters, give us an awesome kind of scenario that they're in. What are they fighting against? Well, you know, what's the big drama that's happening in the book? The story arc for the characters. Are they going to get growth? Are they going to learn from this experience? It's stuff like that. You know, everything else is just, you know, it's dressing.
Absolutely.
I don't know. There's a lot of people are just insane out there right now, and it's a lot of these suits, right? These are the people working for all different companies. I've seen it a million times. It's like, oh yeah, well, this is kind of hot right now. This is trending, so we need to put that into there. It's like, what? What are you talking about?
dude, I interviewed the people that wrote X-Men the Animated Series. Cheap plug for the channel. But we talked about the pride of the X-Men, the 89 cartoon, and they talked about all the cooks in the kitchen, all the suits that added all the shit that made it suck. You know why Wolverine's Australian? Because some executives saw Crocodile Dundee. Like, the people that are above the creatives suck. I got a guy that I know that works at Universal Pictures, and he tells me that the creative people are aware of the problems. It's the people that they answer to that are younger than them now, that are full of themselves, that want this shit put in their entertainment because they go to Twitter and they go to social media and they think it's what sells. So even the people that are the long-time creators are like, can we just make something good? Can we just make something classic? Can we just make something that works? And the people that control the fucking purse strings are the crazy ones. So hopefully...
It reminds me a lot of when I worked in TV and how that all the upper management didn't have a clue about how the show actually happened. They would say, "Oh, let's do this," and it's like, do you understand that you're talking about stupidity right now? It just blows me away how people can fail upwards. Yeah. How that they can be no good at their job, but then be put in charge of other people doing their jobs.
Yeah, isn't it insane? Jesus.
It is.
That's why I was happy to create my own stuff for that reason too. I want to be able to tell stories. I have just so many different characters and worlds, and I have like a connecting universe that I did. You know, you could see it here. I have, you know, there are 3 different books there, and they're all 3 different genres. But you know, I have an overall connecting theme on the majority of this stuff, and like people who stay tuned, they're gonna see like how my stuff connects. Like you could get each one of these books separately and enjoy the hell out of them. You don't have to worry about picking up anything else. If you just want the pirate story, you could just have the pirate story. You want the ghost story, you could get that. Like I did it in a way where it is going to be a lot of fun. That futuristic one, City of Venus, that one is a little bit different because it's going to connect to something in a more substantial way. But yeah, I purposely kind of told these stories like that because again, Stan Lee was one of my biggest influences. I've met him a couple of times. He's actually bought original artwork from me, like the last time that I saw him, which was epic.
How did that feel that Stan Lee bought your artwork?
Dude, I was over the moon. I was in shock when it first happened. I'm like, what, huh? You want what? Like, it was pretty amazing. But
what
yeah,
was it?
dude, it's. Oh, go ahead.
Well, no, what was the artwork?
Oh, there was one I did kind of like the. I did my own kind of version or homage to loosely because it was a different angle. But I did the Spider-Gwen kind of like the Amazing Spider-Man 300. But I did it in a different way. Like I mirrored the kind of angle, like he, the famous one where he's kind of swinging like that. Yeah. I had it the other way, but it was more of instead of that kind of shot from front on underneath, kind of. I did it from a little bit more on top and backside, so it was almost like the opposite of it. Okay. And yeah, it was a hot piece. So it was that one, and he actually bought a DC piece I had. I had a Joker. Like a big kind of portrait of Joker, and in the background, like a little Batman that was up on a building. But yeah, dude, I couldn't believe it. It was like that was so damn awesome. But yeah, dude, he's one of the people. Like he's told a number of different creators as well. It's like if you have a story to tell, like go for it. These characters have been around forever, but it's like if you have an opportunity to make your own stuff, why the hell not? Put something out there that's worth it. And, a Shadow of the Kraken. This is one I've been wanting to tell for a long time. I've been a huge fan of pirates, and I never really seen any books out there that were done properly. They're all weird stuff, or they mix it with something else. I want to tell more of a proper kind of traditional pirate story. Yeah, there is a supernatural element. Yeah, there's something that's a little extra in there because again, it's a comic book. You want to have that kind of fun. But I based a lot of it kind of in reality, and I wanted to show how they survive and how brutal it truly is. You're gonna have characters, people that we've known from history. They're gonna be making cameos, and some have actual bigger parts to the actual story. So you're gonna see pirates from history in here. But again, there was a massive cliffhanger at the end of this that everyone was like, "Holy shit!" Like. I had so many people messaging me too. It's like, oh, dude, where is this going? Like, and they were even trying to give me their theories, and it's cool to see that type of stuff.
I'm jealous of this. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
I was just gonna say, Vinny, I know you're a busy guy, as am I, but one day we will work together on a project because it would be awesome to do that, especially your inks and colors.
Oh my god, I'd love to pay you to draw my team. I swear.
Well, we could always make that happen. I'm usually available for pinups and covers and stuff like that, just so you know. But yeah, no, dude, this stuff is it's a lot of fun. It's something that I truly enjoy doing. Again, from my background, I'm all self-taught. Even when I was working for Todd, like I was never really given any pointers or anything like that. I was just doing these, amazing designs and stuff for him. I was the lead designer for the toy company, so I was coming up with a bunch of stuff, the lines and waves for the year and all that kind of thing. But
you had the job I dream of.
Yeah, I got that job like straight out of high school. I sent in some drawings and stuff, and yeah, it was pretty cool. I went up for an interview and basically kind of stayed. Yeah, it was crazy. I was crashing at some family. My cousin's place, and I was traveling crazy hours because I could not find a place to rent over there. Like they were in the middle of the sticks, like up in Jersey, and I was traveling from New York. I did it for a long time, like 4 or 5 months, something like that. And it was like 3 hours going, 3 hours coming back. You get stuck in the Lincoln Tunnel. Oh my god, it was a nightmare. But it's again, you have to make some certain sacrifices for the shit that you want to do, and you know. But it was something else, and it ended up being. It felt like a Mr. Rogers field trip at a certain point, because it's like, it's like, oh, this is how they make bread, and when you kind of see the behind the scenes thing, it's like, oh, that's really interesting. Then after a while, it's like, oh my god, this is like any other business that's insane with crazy people working there, and who's sleeping with who's trying to embezzle money. I was like, what the hell is going on here? So yeah, you had to learn a lot of things pretty quickly, but I just the creative part of it is what I care about. Like I want to be able to get amazing stuff out there. And, I've been doing it with this stuff, and Through the Woods. Again, I put this as a hardcover. I revamped a lot of the artwork from the original miniseries. Made sure any kind of minor mistakes that were anywhere in the book were all corrected. And the format on this thing is gorgeous. It's like 9 by 12 inches, hardcover. So it's got like a European format to it. And oh my God. I think I'm like 5 sales away from hitting 800 sales on this one.
Nice.
On the crowdfunder.
It's the only one I haven't picked up yet, so I have to do that.
Folks, let's make that happen tonight on the stream.
Yeah, I got like less than 200 left, but once they're gone, like I'm not going back to print on this hardcover. Not unless a big company wants to buy it or something, or they wanna publish it for me or something. But the only way to get it is through me at this moment, and we got about less than 200 left of these. So jump on them. You do not want to miss out. City of Venus. I'm working on the sequel right now. The first one was actually like a standard kind of comic book size, 32 pages front cover to back cover. But I made sure to give you guys the extras in there as well, breakdown sketches and stuff in the back. And all the paper is like super thick. It's on the thickest stock you could find, glossy finish on all my stuff. And a lot of people were surprised by that because they don't really see that in too many comics. But I did it because it's kind of the way that like I paint. Like I see it like that vividly, and doing like the glossy cover, I think kind of captures a little bit of that. And people make the joke too. It's added protection. Or splooge. No. But
I mean, I put Tits and Art in a plastic bag for everybody, so I understand.
Yeah. Oh, that was a beautiful book too, by the way.
Thank you.
I had gotten that. I forgot that it was that big. I forgot you had it by like 11 by 17. I'm like, oh shit, this is excellent.
I'll talk about it in a minute, but thank you for the compliment. I had so much fun making it. Honestly, I was so proud of that one.
Oh hell yeah, man, so good. On this campaign too, I have 2 art books that are attached to it as well, and they're 52 pages each. Those art books, and I have just a bunch of great stuff. Some of your favorite comic book characters, things for video games, movies, the works. And if you've seen any of my work like on DeviantArt, which I had a pretty good following over there. It's some of like those really kick-ass pieces. So people were very surprised and very happy when they did get those. And you get like 3 books in one shot on that campaign. So like if you hit like the featured tier and then you do the add-on, so you get volume 1 and 2. I ship all 3 of those out. All my stuff ships immediately, by the way. There's no wait whatsoever. So
I can confirm that is true.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And and you get your tracking numbers and everything. So I'm very serious about the stuff that I get out there, because again, I love this medium. I want to keep telling awesome stories. And guys, wait until you see City of Venus too. There's still a lot of work they need to do on it, but the stuff that I'm getting done is some jaw-dropping stuff for sure. I keep trying to raise that bar with each project that comes out. So
I mean, that's the only way to go.
Oh, absolutely, man. And again, more backstory too on the main character. Like the first bunch of pages already have so many twists and turns happen, and I showed like 1 or 2 people that I really trust, and they're like, "Holy shit! How are you putting that in the book?" I'm like, "You'll see." So it's gonna be some good stuff.
Dude, Vinny, I'm always happy to talk about your wonderful books because I think they're wonderful, man. I love the art. I think they all look great, but that pirate one, dude, there's just something about it's such a easy book on the eyes, the colors, it's just,
thanks.
And it's comfortable. It's like comforting to look at. It makes you just want to keep flipping the pages and keep going through it, man.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, for those in the chat, you can type in vinnieart.com. It should take you straight to the pirate book. to Shadow the Kraken. I think I have a shadow ban or something, but if you do go over to my Twitter, like again, that's Vinnie Art on Twitter. I'm on YouTube as well. Channel's starting to get some good growth too. And yeah, I have crazy live streams and we talk about toys too. Tomorrow night we're gonna do a toy stream, me and Tommy from the Guinea Pig Collective.
What you're gonna be talking about?
Dude, you want to come on? Because it'll be a bunch of different stuff.
Thursday night's my show, or else I would.
All right. Well, this one we're only doing about an hour tomorrow, I believe. And
what time?
8 Eastern.
Oh yeah, it would cross over with me. Sorry, dude, or else I would, because I love to come over and chat.
Oh, yeah.
We've only had the opportunity to do 1 or 2 toy streams because of scheduling and shit. But
I know. But those were fun too when you came on. Oh, yeah. But yeah, we could figure out. We could even. I do them on Fridays as well and Sundays. Those are like the 2 days that I do like my regular streams. But yeah, dude. But no, we always have a blast over there. And yeah, these books, I'm telling you, the pirate one, I think you guys are really going to dig too. That's 52 pages. I'm making sure everything that from here on out is going to be like the perfect bound. I don't want to have staples through a book. I'd rather have a nicer format.
Dude, you're singing that's exactly what I say. I don't want staples in my books. I think staples are ugly.
Same conversation with the local printer when I first hit them up. They said, I think I could staple 68 pages. I was like, let's just not even take the chance and figure it out. I was like, I want that spine because I want to see that beautiful thing on a bookshelf.
Yes.
Hell yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, by the way, at whatever campaign you do go on, as long as you scroll to the bottom, you'll be able to find links to the other campaigns as well. I try to do that so people are aware of what I have and what else they can snatch up.
And now, folks, it's time for me to tell you about some of my projects. Now, as you know, Wokebusters is in production. I tweeted out some penciled pages. I've been working with looking for an inker to get some things moving a little quicker because I would like to make it a little more smooth for me. But right now, there you go. You got the postcard with the Stay Woke Trigglypuff, ma'am. Like we said, folks, sorry, folks, the book's been delayed. The Wokebusters are fighting a couple things, and it's a little different. The book's a little different than. Hey, you got one too, with the pin and everything. Guys, thanks for backing it.
Nice.
The people have been so cool. Everybody likes those postcards. I sent out the shirts and all that other stuff. But I did have the opportunity to do another project that has already come and gone in terms of we crowdfunded it, we fulfilled it. Only 1 or 2 people don't have the book yet because we ship them out each week, and that book is Tits and Art. So let me share with you the link and the Indiegogo page. But first, before I share any of that information with you, let me share with you the books, because these are big books. Now, I'm a big dude, but this is 11 by 17, each of these bad boys. And we also have a spine. There are no staples in this book. Just for reference, here's Oz's, this is what, Everlasting Survivors looks like, and this is the size of Tits and Art. So let's use the black one. It's a better frame so you can actually see it.
Jeff, in your hands, one looks like a regular sized comic and the other looks like a baby comic.
Dude, I'd say this is a joke, but man, sometimes it's hard to hold a pencil for like 10 hours straight because they're not big enough for me. Like, I wish I could get a custom built Apple pencil that's just slightly bigger with the regular size tip. I'd be so fucking happy. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to build my brand, and I'm going to do plus-sized art tools for big guys with big hands. That way we can make art too, God damn it.
Fantastic.
But folks, Tits and Art is a big coffee table size book that features beautiful women. Now, volume 1 is titled Seductive Fantasy. Now, this version right here is the Teanator variant. Now, these books are very limited. I only ordered a limited supply, a couple hundred, sold a couple hundred, and I have a few left here. Now, every Friday I ship these out, and we just had another person back. So, backer number 279, and you will be getting your book on Friday. Today is Wednesday. So, folks, anytime you want to go pick up a copy of Tits and Art is a good time, but you want to do it sooner than later because, like I said, these things are moving, and we keep shipping them out every week. And just to let you know, I can't show too much because of the good stuff here on YouTube, but this book has everything. And it also has a wide array of art, range, if you will. Like, yes, I penciled this. I had it painted. Look at that, though. That's the quality of art you get in this book. People love this one. This is a... This is more of my style, like slight humor, like the Monty Python animations and all those things. I'm really into that.
Yep.
But no, you get traditional, beautiful art. You get stuff inspired by Mobius. You get fun takes on movie parodies and posters. You get takes on famous comic books and video game covers. I can't show you those because there's a nipple for Superman. Okay, but you got this wonderful poster that I did with the TriStar artist right here.
Oh,
for
there it is.
Wolfbusters. Yeah, see, that thing turned out beautiful, folks.
Yeah,
I haven't
did.
even had a chance to get it ready to add for the crowdfunder for the Wolfbusters campaign because it's a lot of work, but I'm getting it taken care of. You can even see the original cover for Tits and Art, as well as some other work that I got coming out, Stealing Solo, Wolfbusters. Hey, look what book's in the back of Tits and Art that I talk about.
Only
Yeah.
14 left. Well, maybe less. Now.
Crossover.
Got a backer while we're on
There
here.
you
So 13.
Now, folks, when you buy a copy of Tits and Art, you're promised one thing. You will see the return of Tits and Art in Volume 2, The Book of Booty. But we got to sell through Tits and Art to get to the Book of Booty. You got to remember, folks, I'm that kind of an artist, but I also bring a lot of class to it. We are world-class bullshitters, after all. And these pieces, honestly, you could put them anywhere you want. This isn't your low-level hanging fruit. No. This is classy stuff I'm very proud of. Like this cover, this is actual art. Yes, there are tits in the book, but it's tits and art. I like to remind people of that because my favorite artist of all time is John Romita Sr. He was known for drawing beautiful women, so I couldn't draw a woman to save my life. When I started really taking art seriously, I was in the 7th grade. The Spider-Man movie was coming out, and for some reason, I wanted to become a professional comic book artist. I don't know if it was like, hey, I like Spider-Man so much, I want to do my own thing, or whatever it was. I don't really remember, but I got How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, and I sat and I drew everything I could from that book. And I got okay at drawing Spider-Man, but I couldn't draw women. So I would sit and draw and draw and draw. And up until recently, like up in like college age, I would have this big discrepancy between men and women. You know, the men would look fine and proportionate, and the women would look like dudes with weird bodies. And so I really trained and honed this shit. Honestly, Oz, when I knew you, what I would do those years ago is I would wake up every morning. This is after college. I told my mom, I need a little bit of time. I'm going to figure my shit out and get it going, and here we are. But I would get up every morning and I would practice drawing women. I got literally hundreds of... Go to my Instagram page. You can see those are the ones I thought were good enough to share. There were hundreds and thousands of more that sucked. Tits and Art is the culmination of all of that. And that's why I wanted to do the women book as well, because they used to judge comic book artists on your women and your horses. If you could draw beautiful women and realistic horses, you could get a job anywhere. Because back then, when this advice was good, they were doing westerns and romance novels, or comics. So those were the two things you honed yourself on. John Romita, my favorite artist, he was a romance guy. He knew how to draw beautiful women. So I used to sit and practice and practice and practice his. And I think I finally got it. The book, Tits and Art's moved a lot of copies, and we can move even more. And I'm proud that we're finally at this level. So,
so I want to share a personal anecdote. So you were saying how that women and horses were the standard bearer for comics, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all throughout my life growing up, I never really related to my father. And one day I find this drawing of a horse, and I asked my mom, because I was like, I know she didn't draw. I said, did Dad draw this? Because maybe this is our connection. This is the thing that we have in common. And she was like, no, I have no idea who drew that. And so that night I asked him, I was like, Dad, did you draw this? Who drew this? And he was like, oh, somebody I knew in school drew it, and I just kept it all these years. And I was like, damn it, I thought we were going to have one thing that we had in Like, he hated wrestling. He didn't care about anything that I cared about. When I saw this drawing of a horse, I was like, oh, this is the moment. This is the time. This is the thing. And it's like, no, that's just some random person gave it to me and I kept it. I was like, damn it.
My first collaborator, her name is Kenna. She's a professional camel and horse artist, professional horse and camel painter. So yeah, she sells her stuff to like sheiks and everything over in the Middle East. Yeah,
that's what's up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, if you can draw horses and camels, you got it made in the shade.
Jeff, have you ever met John Romita Sr.?
No, I want to, and I know how old he is, and I know he doesn't draw anymore and all this shit. And I'm just like, if I could, I would just like to shake his hand and be like, "Yo, you're a huge influence." I'd be more professional than that, obviously. But you know, all I want to do is shake his hand and be like, "Thank you." Because honestly, I study. It's him in his work with Jim Mooney, the way that's inked. I need to spend more time practicing because I want to master that old school brush style. it's hard to master when you have other things you're trying to do that actually pay the bills. Because like penciling and inking a different way, I can sell my books. But if I sit and try to master my style, that means no income or no time to do YouTube and other things like that. So one day, before I hit 40, I will learn how to master that brush style, and then I'll be very, fulfilled as an artist.
Yeah.
But
well, that's it.
It's
It's all about learning more and continuously growing and learning. That's the whole thing. It's like you never just settle anywhere. So I mean, it's going to be time. It's going to be a lot takes place with those kind of processes. But we keep leveling up, and that's the good thing. I was fortunate enough. I did get to meet Senior, Junior. He's actually the one who got me my first meetings with Marvel and stuff too. It's kind of funny because I was chatting with Greg Capullo about that too, and he goes, "Holy shit!" I said, "What?" He goes, "Senior's the one who got me in the door." I said, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, and it's funny too because we were both kind of sent to the same person as well. Well, one of them anyway, one of the editors. But it was kind of crazy and cool. But yeah, when I got to meet Senior, I was stopping by to say hi to Junior because like I've met him a number of times too since, and always cool with his family and stuff. And it was I got a photo with me, Senior, Junior, and his son.
Wow.
3 generations of Ermitas. Damn.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was pretty cool. And yeah, just oh my god, what a sweetheart, super awesome guy.
Dude, he's the last living Marvel legend. Seriously.
Yeah.
Stan Lee passed away. Maurice Severin's gone. Ditko was never even going to.
Roy Thomas. I would say Roy's up there. He's probably one of the last remaining ones too.
Fair. I mean, I'll give you that because he was like the fanboy that got in with those people and then kind of shepherded in the next generation. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, I'll go
I was
with that.
friends with one of the last other legends, but he did pass away a couple of years ago.
Which legend was that?
Alan Bellman.
I know that name. Why don't I know more about him?
He did Captain America stuff. Anytime you got to meet him at a show, he'd tell everybody, "You're meeting a legend." He would always say that.
I met this fucking guy.
Yeah. Little dude.
Yeah, he was actually really cool because
super awesome.
Nobody, when you go to these shows, people want to meet the Walking Dead zombies. They want to meet these random ass actors who are on a show for 5 minutes and then they'll never think about, and they pass up legends. And so I'm pretty sure it was the show that I worked for Neil Adams at.
I knew you were going to say
there.
that.
Yeah, but dude, I walked up to him like because he had covers and stuff like that, and I just talked to him for a couple minutes because admittedly I didn't know a ton of his work, but I love the Golden Age guy. Like, anybody that's still around, like if I'm going to a show and I have the time and money, I'm gonna come see you. Like, even just for an autograph. And half of these guys sign for free. But like,
absolutely, I can't tell you the number of times that I've walked up to a writer, especially and they're just happy that you know who they are, and so it's awesome.
They're nice people. Like, the people that wrote X-Men were the friendliest in the world. Like, they're as excited to talk about the show they worked on as the kids are to talk about the show as adults. Like, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're new to this, but we love it." Like, most of those cool creators are like that. They understand.
The one guy who's a dual-edged sword at a convention is Chris Claremont because he loves to talk. He will talk at great lengths whether you want him to or not. But because of that, his lines will be long and will last all day because it's just he loves to talk to fans. He loves to answer questions about Gambit's costume or whatnot. But
what is it? Like Gambit's costume, like I have these toys. I'm like, when you take off the jacket, it's what is it? Like, what are you looking at?
Exactly. He just loves. He's like he just loves saying like that was not my intention at all for that costume. It was supposed to be black. And like he's like, I don't know where the hell that pink came from. It wasn't me. So he tried to change it later on in some stories in the early 2000s. But he'll talk about that at great lengths.
Yeah, well, wasn't it mostly Jim Lee that came up with that design, or like the second version to it?
Him and Andy Kubert. I think Andy Kubert too. Jim and Andy did that.
Well, I think it was. I know Silvestri was. It was Silvestri was around doing a lot of that stuff, and then he kind of taught Jim Lee. But I know they were both working on X-Men around that time, but I don't remember if Mark had done if he worked on any of the first appearances of some of those.
Well, and what's funny is that in that first appearance of Gambit in the issue, it was some random guy. It wasn't Mark Silvestri. It wasn't Jim Lee. I forget what the guy's name is, but it's like, this guy, really? This was the first appearance of Gambit? I mean, I for the life of me, I can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, Oz, I wonder, because he brought up the pink, I wonder if it was like a Bret Hart fan subconsciously, because Bret Hart was black and pink.
Hey, best there is, best there was, best there ever will.
Best there ever will be. You see that guy opened his own bar?
Wow.
He did?
Yeah, I'd love to go. It's a badass looking bar too. It's like a wrestling themed one. It's huge. So I hope it makes a bunch of money.
Shit.
So also, folks, Stealing Solo, I keep getting emails about it. Can I get a copy? Can I get a copy? Well, I'm going to take it. I was trying to get it set up for tomorrow, but I might have it for Friday or something. But I'm going to put the original printing up on Kickstarter to move those books because I have enough interest in it. So I'm excited. I'm working on a brand new campaign just to get that book out. There's not going to be new covers because people want that edition. The Fandom Menace edition, well, the Fandom Menace is no more, so that really doesn't represent the book. Stealing Solo existed beforehand, and so I wanted to give everyone an opportunity to get the original printing with the spine perfect and all the new pages. Because remember, folks, Stealing Solo is a graphic novel that features Stealing Solo and Anthology, which is a series of 3 short stories that I created 2014. Like when I got out of college, I was like, I'm going to make a comic book, and that's the first thing I ever made. So I thought, why not give everyone...
I love
2014?
that.
Yeah, dude. That's when we met.
Hey, and Jeff, don't forget either. If you ever need someone to do the trailer for you, you have a friend. Don't ever forget about Hans Cock.
You know what? Maybe I'm going to take an extra week. Honestly, I'm not just saying this. I think I'll take an extra week to do this. Let's talk, because I would rather go out and fucking start off with, with a bang instead of just, trying to get people pumped up. Well, I'll talk to you because I still need to get the Stealing Solo audio drama done. The guys and I Kendo's got a kid and a new family and a couple things, so it's hard to just get everyone together to do it. I'm going to call up my old pal Hans Cock because, dude, you do my favorite fucking voice. Like, anytime you, like, literally anything, you always get me to chuckle because Harrison Ford's my favorite actor. And I made this comic book as, like... See, the thing is about Stealing Solo, too, is, like, it's not a fantasy of mine to kidnap Harrison Ford. I have no interest in actually remaking a Star Wars movie. It's my fantasy to make a movie based on it or just to make really crazy stories with famous people. Like, I would like to make a movie with do a story about a Kurt Russell type of thing or other actors I like. Nicolas Cage would be my dream project. I mean, come on. All you need is a little bit of a...
Get off my plane.
I do get to get off my plane and Stealing Solo, so you don't have to say that for me.
Yeah, real quick, for those who are unaware, I have a little bit that I do all the time, the Hans Cock one, where I make fun of like celebrity news or Star Wars news. And I even did a new one, Indiana Jones Cock, and I did like a whole a whole Egyptian themed thing. It was an actual story that I found I thought was pretty interesting, and I did it as good old Harrison.
Dude, when he got paraded out on the Oscars, it was awkward. But when he gets paraded out on that new Indiana Jones movie, I don't think I'm going to be able to watch it with like a straight face. I'm either going to be sad because like look at it, or
I do not want to see this movie. And then like one of the locations they shot this thing in is the hometown where all my family's from in Italy, and I'm like. And I've been there too, and I know those locations. I'm like, I kind of want to see it for that, and then like I don't want to give Disney money for anything. I hate that company. Man, it sucks.
Dude, I get it. I mean, a lot of people feel the same way because they're losing stuff left and right. I know people want to talk about, Disney Plus numbers are down because they lost Cricket. Okay, they're still down in every other place. Like Mandalorian has the lowest viewership of these shows. Like, It's just been bad branding. And guys, that's why you need to just support independent and new stuff, because the people that ruin your IPs just keep ruining them. Oz doesn't ruin his IP. Oz is passionate about it. Look at Drew.
Yeah, absolutely.
Vinnie, everybody's passionate about their IPs because they want to bring you stuff that they believe in. The people that make the mainstream stuff, they don't believe in it. They're just hired guns. They're just the best you can buy.
Yeah.
Take that word.
The cheapest.
Real quick on Indiegogo, if that pops up where you do see that the tip thing, just change it to 0.
Always zero. Yeah, I've told people that before when they think, oh, I'm helping you. I was like, no, the company's taking that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do it on
And
purpose.
they're always taking money on the back end anyway. So it's like.
And that was the thing that pissed me off about Tits and Art, and why I'm going to do stuff with Kickstarter and going to start experimenting with other avenues, because I told the audience, folks, this book will be ready for Christmas. This book was fucking done and at the printer before the campaign had even ended. Indiegogo held on to my money. They lied to me. That's the thing that pisses me off too. They were supposed to pay me on like October 26th. So I contact them on that day because I look at the numbers and they say the 26th. They say it could take up to 2 weeks. So I thought, I'll give them a week. And then I contact them. I hear nothing back. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. They lied to me. I didn't get my money for 2 months. And that shit came to me in December. But the reason, here's how they lied to me. They say, sir, you weren't, your estimated arrival of your funds was on the 24th of December. And I go, I have screenshots that say the 26th of October, and I had to fucking deal with this back-end team of bullshit. Well, you do this, what could it be? We're still looking. I had to fucking take out personal money, do other things to get these books out there, and I still got them only a couple of days shy of what I said. So independent process is getting better and better, but some of these fucking campaigns, especially Indiegogo, I don't really like them anymore.
I'll tell you what, I legitimately, before I launched this second chance for Everlasting Survivors, I had considered going the Ripperverse route, which is creating my own .com to do the campaign because of the fear of that precise thing, of getting screwed over by the middleman. Like I'm super scared of it.
Well, luckily, if you're just transparent with your audience, they're cool. Like, nobody complained. Everyone was just like, oh, okay. Because I even had to go to my lawyer. I had him write the fucking press release thing for me because I'm like, I ain't fucking with this company. This is not me. I'm not dealing with this crap. I'm going to let him know. And like Enrique, he's a personal friend. He actually backed the book and is somebody I know. So he came over and saw it, and I gave him his copy because I'm like, oh, well, if Indiegogo eventually will give me my money, I don't care about one book. So, like, he had that shit before anybody else. Like, if Indiegogo would have done me right, everyone would have got their books probably the 15th to the 20th of December. Like, everything was ready to go. But I don't like Indiegogo because they did that to me. So, folks, if you ever wonder what's up with me and Indiegogo, that's what's up.
Damn.
Yeah, I just never made the video because, to be honest, the YouTube channel was doing other stuff, and I got sidetracked doing other work. So, but anybody needs to know what's up. It's up. And let's be honest, though, it didn't really hurt me that much. I'm just frustrated. So,
of course,
for sure. It does.
We're all there, but I'm going to take the Drew approach, and I'm just going to get my stuff on a website too and do that. Like I said, I got a business partner. We're doing a couple things. I'm very vague with it, folks, because when I tell you about it, it'll be ready, and then it's just time for it. So instead of trying to build it up, we'll talk about the things that are coming first, like Wokebusters, and we talk about that, and, we bring it out soon. I'm excited. It's a Ghostbusters parody. It's just, like Vinnie knows about what's up. Sometimes you start out with a project, and you're like, oh, it's going to be 50 pages. And then you're like, well, hold on, it needs a little more here and there. And then you're like, it's 80 pages. And you're like, well, shit, 80 pages is a lot more. And then you got to pencil it and ink it and do this. And maybe I want to add this or that. So even when the script is written, you can still add shit to it.
Are you cool with me bringing up what we talked about before we went live?
I'm sure that's fine.
So it was fun that before we started going live, you had told me that you had reread Everlasting Survivors and that there had been so many different changes or evolutions of the project from its first conception in 2014 that it almost felt like it wasn't the same thing that you had worked on. And so I was just talking, about how, things change and evolve and how they can start one way and end up another. Yeah. So that's the beauty of.
So the fascinating part, though, is this is the last page I drew of the first issue. Like, this was how issue 1 ended when I got the script. Yep. And also, too, folks, the middle part with the bank robbery and some of these pages, the way Oz did it, he goes, hey, can I pay you for, like, I don't know, 5 to 10 pages or whatever the pre-issue 1 was. It was like a small series of pages, and I was like, yeah.
I could afford at the time. I saved back money. I was like, I got 10 pages. Can we do that? And, the funniest part is Jeff was willing to draw as much as I would write, but I didn't feel right for him to do the art without me being able to pay him. because I'd had a few bad experiences in the pro wrestling game where I'd show up and the big boss man would be like, "Get you next time, kid." And so I just didn't want to be that kind of a business person. I didn't want to be the, "Hey, I'm glad you did all the work for me, but I'll give you a hot dog and a handshake for the hard work you put in."
You were always great. Like, folks, one time I was working a show called Fandom Fest. I think it died now. It was down in Kentucky, but we met up for lunch or dinner, and you're like, "Here you go. Here's payment for the other part." Like, Oz was on it, man. That's the thing about this book. You talk about passion projects. He did everything he could to make sure that this book would be created the right way, and it's taken a while to get here, but it's here in his hand. And by the way, Oz, this is the very first page that I drew. This was the first one, because I remember this guy. What I used to do is and I hope people don't take this term offensively, but I used to babysit my grandma. She was an older lady, and so I'd go over when our other family would go out of town. So I'd go over and stay with her, and she'd end up cooking and doing stuff, but I would just kind of just be over there with her because she didn't want to be alone in this house. And so I remember sitting there at her house at the kitchen table drawing that. I had my Wacom tablet and my old laptop, and this Wacom tablet was like this big and had wires and shit on it, and I had to stare at the screen and draw like this.
Yeah.
And I just remember sitting there going like, "This is my first comic job, here we go," and that was it. So,
and I every time the memory of you sharing that first panel to me on Facebook, every time it comes up, it makes me feel so like everything was worth it. It was just one of those first times where it's like, okay, this is really happening.
Dude, we're gonna be rekindling some of that excitement. Like I was getting ready to tell the audience, I'm gonna be working the convention circuits and stuff, and you can come ask me about these books in person too. Like if you buy these, or if you've already backed it, come get it signed from me, from Oz, from everyone involved. Except February. He's a little hard to reach. But I
have his address. It'll take up the whole envelope, but I have his address if you really want that autograph.
Actually, what I want you to do is send me his address, because I want to send him a copy of everything he's colored for me. Give him a little package as like a thank you.
That's how I have it, is because when I first got the box of the cover A and cover B in, I said, "Hey, I've got to send you this, because if not for you, this project wouldn't be done, and obviously without you I wouldn't even know him." So yeah, I'll find it. Like I said, it'll take up the whole damn envelope. But
would you believe how young that dude is?
I mean, he does amazing work, but I don't know how old he is.
I think he just had his 18th birthday or his 16th birthday.
That's amazing.
The thing is, when I started working with him to where he is now is like incredible. And the crazy part is he will post his stuff on Facebook, and I asked him if he wanted to do a whole comic, because I got something, and he's like, "I don't feel confident enough in it." I'm like, "What? How do you not feel confident enough in your work?"
Dude, check this out. I asked him, I said, "Hey, do you want to be the artist going forward?" And he was like, I don't know. Are you sure? And I said, "Well, how about this? Give me one piece or one team shot and one of all of them solo, and then we'll go from there." He gives me 3 team shots and one solo of each of the heroes. And I'm like, "Yeah, you got this. You got this." Like, don't get me wrong. I love your work. I love every piece I've ever had. But every time he puts work down, I'm just like, "Come on now. You've got to know. We all know."
I love working with him. He's my favorite colorist. I got a couple of things for other projects I'm working on, but I make sure he colors everything. Like I will. God, he's great. So we'll stop singing his praises, so we keep him ourselves.
Exactly.
He's terrible. He stinks.
I knew a colorist, and I sent him Gustavo's information. I sent him a message. I was like, "I'm sending somebody your way," because I didn't want to tell him about February.
Oh, by the way, February did this color on this cover too, like the one that everyone likes. I said, "Hey man, I'm gonna give you double your rate. I want you to take all the time you need, and I want you to give me something crazy." And he came up with this. He came up with 2 versions, actually. Again, there's a nipple on it, so I can't show it on stream, but there's a blue and an orange version of the cover. Like, that dude, he puts in the effort, man. Like, you want to talk about, like, the American comic books from Marvel and stuff that they're pumping out that are ugly? There are people out there that are passionate about this shit. You just got to find us. So,
yeah.
So now, Marvel's hiring the old Jeff, the making women look like odd-looking men. But they're doing it on purpose. It's not even like it's an accident.
If I ever got a memo that said like, please shrink the size of these breasts.
Oh my! You know what? That is a recurring issue for our cover art. Like, so for Sean at Comics Elite, he does a lot of variants, a lot through Marvel, and a lot of the artists he works with. That is the one common complaint he gets from the Marvel editors. Hey, your artist needs to shrink the breasts here.
No, it's what sells. It's what we want. We don't. To equate that, that'd be like saying to shrink the abs of Thor or the pecs of Thor. We don't want that either. I think all entertainment fails to realize, yes, the guys want what they want and the women want what they want, and at least I can speak for us guys, we all want the women to get what they want in the entertainment too. Like, I'm not bothered that Thor is in great shape. That doesn't bother me. A superhero is supposed to look like that. But if Black Widow's ass looks amazing in the tights jumpsuit, why am I a bad guy for going, you put a 40-foot ass on a screen that looks good, why am I wrong for liking it?
Right. Yeah, so I for the channel, Mr. Super Oz, I've gone back and I've been rewatching Terminators. I've watched 1, 2, and 3, and I've got to watch 4, 5, and 6 for an episode that'll release in April. But while watching it, the young lady I was watching it with said, well, she was quite entertained by Arnold Schwarzenegger's presence, I will say, when he arrived on screen. And I'm not mad about it. Like, it makes good, common, perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. Just don't watch that movie in super high definition. You're going to see a part of Arnold Schwarzenegger you never wanted to see. Dude, I love James Cameron's Terminator 1 and 2, Alien, some of his earlier work. But that's a topic for another time. Is there anything else you guys want to cover in terms of creator stuff? I mean, we talk about our influences, we talk about what we like, we talk about our projects, and I think we've talked a lot about us and who we are. Anything else you guys want to say before you plug your stuff one more time, or do you have another topic you want to cover, or what's up?
Well, all I really want to say, I appreciate you guys so much, all of you.
Dude,
likewise,
for coming
man.
And hanging out.
Oh yeah. See, well, that's it. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy people who love the creative process. They love getting great stuff out there. And yeah, it should be more support. It should be less of the drama and bullshit, and more people who actually care about what they're doing, what they're getting out there. And remember, tits are always beautiful. Asses are great. Women can appreciate pecs and abs and all that great stuff. And back tits in art today. So that way Jeff doesn't lock me in the basement.
Again.
This time I heard he wanted to put me handcuffed to the radiator.
Oh, dude, you got... So one thing I will say before we go. If this is a meta joke that no one gets. Would you hold that back up for a quick second, Oz?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, if you notice, folks, the original Stealing Solo printing had action figures that looked like the vintage Star Wars toys. They're all straight-armed, smiley-faced, and whatever. But for the reprint, I wanted to do the 1995 Power of the Force bodies, where they got big and buff, like I grew up with as a joke. So I replicated the back cover, the color scheme for the figures, and I drew us and put us in a similar thing. I didn't think I got the exact fonts. So I just wanted to bring that up. I love accuracy on like another level in my work. Like with the Wokebusters back cover, it's going to be very similar to that. Get the action figures, I'll do Wokebuster style toys, it'll be 1-to-1. But I just love that we all work in a medium where we, like, little bit of shit like that is actually work. It's like, oh, if I put this in there, people, there you go, like that too.
So speaking of back covers, because I chose to call my company Gamble Comics, it only felt right. And to continue the theme of monetization. And so my trade paperbacks are called silverbacks, and that's why it looks like money on the back cover.
Love it. Dude, that's so good.
And this is like was this one of the first pieces I drew of these characters?
It is the first team shot that you ever did.
God, I have gotten a lot better as an artist. Thanks for the job. No, man, honestly, I don't look back at this project and go, oh man, it was terrible, I'm so embarrassed. I go, wow, this was a lot of fun, and we did this. Like, we did it, man. We told the full story. We got it on the paper. Like, it's fucking there. It's cool. I love the bank fight. I love the characters.
Absolutely.
And you know, One thing I tell you, and I don't think I told you this maybe, but you did a great job with your design at Dom. There's something about there's a balance to his look that really works, especially with his ring gear and the fucking mohawk and all that. And now the way I draw mohawks, it's better. But I wish I could draw like that.
Together was during the first campaign, and you asked me what inspired the gear, and this painting of myself, which I know it looks egotistical, but it was actually just a college project, and I didn't want to throw it away after I did it. But anyway, well, I mean,
why would you ever throw it away? Of course, dude, it's art. It's beautiful.
Well, thank you, but I meant like it feels egotistical to have a painting of myself behind me.
Hey, buddy.
What I was gonna say is Dom's gear is based on a babyface character that I wanted to portray, and
I have a poster of myself on the wall. Don't ever feel bad.
Yeah, exactly. But that's beautiful right there. I love that.
So I show up. I am actually in one issue of Born of Blood. It's hidden in one of the issues, and I haven't told anyone. Even Sean doesn't know, but only the artist and I know this. But if anyone finds me in any of the issues, I'll give them a free comic. I'll give them a free one of the rare ratio variants. It's going for big money.
Now I'm gonna look because cool. You threw down a challenge, and I like a challenge. I love a good Easter egg hunt.
While you look for a Easter egg in his book, I will show off an Easter egg in my book. So,
is it Chevy Chase?
When it comes, yeah, it is Chevy Chase. You're correct. So when it comes to freedoms, I didn't ask for Chevy Chase to show up in this scene. But I'm not mad that he showed up in the background of a date for a couple of characters.
I love Fletch. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yep.
Oh man, that was so good.
It's just it's great when people can be happy with their work, when they can do things that bring them joy, and it was so fun to know that not only was I happy with it, but so was Jeff.
I will say the one last thing. In Oz, I don't know where it is, but every book I draw, I hide the Death Star in it. Like,
oh, that's amazing.
And it's not even like it's in here. It's in anthology pages. It's in Stealing Solo. It's in Woke Busters. I hide the Death Star somewhere in every book, so you'll have to find it. I'll give you a hint, folks. In one book, it's in someone's hand, but you don't realize what it is until you look at it, and you go, "Oh shit, there it is!" It's in everything. So, gotta find my hidden Death Star. And you know where it started from, Vinny? It wasn't because I loved Star Wars so much. It's because I was playing with the circle tool in the program I was using. And it was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit, okay. And then if I do that and put this here, hey, it looks like the Death Star. And so I just, like, I was doing something else on a book, and I had to use the circle tool, and I thought, I'll just put the Death Star here. And it stuck forever.
Wow.
So
see, he's a true Star Trek fan, everyone.
Now, guys, this has been a blast. Let's promote everybody. We'll start with you, Drew, this time. Tell everyone where they can get your project, Born of Blood, and I'll put that on screen.
Yeah, you can back Born of Blood right now at mercpublishing.com or comicsleague.com, comicsleaguecomics.com, or your local comic book shop. Issues 1 through 5 are available right now. You can purchase them digitally, physically, and I will be at PlanetCon this weekend out and selling copies of Born of Blood as well, and I'll be down at MegaCon at the end of the month selling copies of Born of Blood as well as other stuff I've written. So be on the lookout for that.
Thanks.
Dude, I can't wait. I wish I could make it to MegaCon. Sadly, it's the same weekend as WrestleMania, but we'll work another show again at the same time, and I'll come over to your table and be like, hey dude, what's up? It's literally been years since I've seen you. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, can't wait.
Now, Vinny, because Oz, we're going to give you the final goodbye. Where can we find, what would you like to tell us about your projects?
Oh, yeah, if you could pull up Shadow of the Kraken one more time, too. I just want people to know, who, if they're not aware of it, I am going to be doing more of those acrylic standees for my other campaigns. So the first campaign that I actually put on was Shadow of the Kraken. That's the newest one that I have. And I'm going to start to do the different characters from... again, the next one up is going to be City of Venus, so you're going to have characters from City of Venus. I want to give people an opportunity to start to get some of these, because these acrylic standees are fantastic. They're double-sided. They just look really beautiful, very nicely done. And I'm gonna have like a unique kind of image on the bottom of all of them like that. This one has the Kraken, but yeah, I'll have a series of these things, and they're gonna be really cool. So like the second issue of Shadow of the Kraken, I'll have another one of these.
So are you telling me for $35 somebody can get an acrylic standee and the book?
Yeah, I give
It's a hell of a deal.
very affordable prices. Oh, what was that, Oz?
I said it comes quick too. I think I ordered it midweek, got it over the weekend.
Yeah. I ship right away. Tomorrow I'll be running to the post office again. There's one that's very close by me anyway, so it's not too much of a feat. But yeah, I love getting out these great things for everyone. And yeah, it's about service. It's about, high standard. You're gonna get everything in these come in the Gemini mailers. The hardcover Through the Woods that comes in a white box. That one's a little bit different because obviously they don't make Geminis that fit that size. But don't worry, they all come great. I shipped at the height of COVID. I got those books out there, and everyone was like, "Holy crap!" That's when they started calling me the Fulfillment King because I was just crushing it. So that's it. It's about getting quality out there, and you guys could again, you can find these campaigns over from my Twitter account. This one in particular, it's vinnieart.com. It'll take you straight to this campaign. Mela Artworld MelaArtworld.com takes you to the Through the Woods campaign. But any campaign that you hit, you could find the previous campaigns as long as you scroll to the bottom of it, and there are links down there. So pretty easy to find all this stuff and grab it all. My YouTube channel, it's at Vinnie Art as well. So again, I got funny stuff on there. We do bits from time to time. I have a lot of great people who come on. ETUP, the place to be reviews. He's usually on there as well. Oh, dude, he's awesome. He's one of my closer friends too, with all this stuff that we've been doing. But yeah, man, I was supposed to hang out with all you guys too, but I couldn't afford it. Couldn't get out there for Horror Hound this year.
Oh, dude. The funny thing is, they're taking it upon themselves to go to Horror Hound. Horror Hound dicked us over out of getting a table. Like, it wasn't a choice that I didn't work Horror Hound. And it's not just me. They're not mad at WCBS like we did something. They don't respond to emails. They're really notorious with their vendor program being kind of fucky, to the point where sometimes you show up on the day and they still don't know where you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
I overlook all that shit because I love to work Horror Hound because it's a convention that reaches a lot of people. It's during tax season. You can sell to these people. You know exactly what they want. And there is a wider breadth of acceptability in terms of content. You can go a little more extreme at a horror show, unlike a comic convention where it's very family friendly and safe and buttoned up and boring. You go to a Horror Hound. The thing is, I can take Tits and Art to Horror Hound and I could sell out a fucking printing over the weekend because people go, I like Tits, I'll buy it, $20, sure. Mm-hmm. Yep. Cincinnati Comic Expo, I can't take this good stuff. So I'll take Wokebusters. That's good stuff. That's better stuff because it's deeper stuff. But like, I don't know, man.
You just reminded me. Sorry, Jeff. You just reminded me at New York Comic Con 2 years ago. We were selling I think it was like a Miss Meow variant by Michael Monty Moore, and it was like she was wearing like a very thin like bikini, like you could like borderline covering, like barely covering the nips and her vag. And the booth next to us, they're selling like little Lego figures and everything. They complained about that. So we had to put Post-its on the big banner we had made for this.
Wow.
So that was
that's so dumb.
Did they fix New York Comic Con yet? Because I remember when they had the that whole section that was by itself that had Artist Alley. I loved it over there, and then they tore the whole thing down. I know they've been working on another part of that building, but
so Artist Alley is all downstairs, and we're upstairs with all the exhibitors and all that. But yeah, it's 2 floors now. They got everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, because it was the one that was down the hall, and then it opened up to a big room by itself. And I think that's where they tore it all down that side, and then they built up there. They had another building that's been working on for years over there. I think it's like
it's huge. It's amazing now. It's massive now.
Yeah. All right, dude. Yeah, because I'd like to go back again at some point, but New York is just disgusting now.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's a shithole. Yeah. I don't blame you.
Yeah, it's awful. That's why I'm not there. I don't want to go back, but for that show, I might at some point.
Now, before we give Oz the final floor, I'll say this, folks. Go over to titsandart.com and grab yourselves a copy. You get the original. You can get the Teenator. It's up to you, but they both feature the same beautiful artwork. And you get to meet our old pal and my caricature, Hugh Jeffner, with a letter from old Hugh Jeffner in the front. So turned myself into Hugh Jeffner for the ad campaign, put myself in the book, and I figured, why not? So you can get that. This also includes all the artists that I worked with, because like I said, I don't color my own work. But I wanted to give credit to where credit's due, and so you can contact everybody and you can see who we're based off of. Like, the covers I can't show on this stream, folks, because of the nipple content. We have a Secret Wars #8 parody of Spider-Man with the symbiote going up the body.
Yep.
It's called Secret Whores. So I took a really I went that way, and I can't show it because of all the stuff. But then I have a
I
Killing
showed my
Joke.
brother that one. He was laughing so hard. He's like, "Oh my god, this is great."
Thank you. Do I want to? I can't put anything over. I don't have any sticky tape, or else I'd show it. Sorry. And then I got a Killing Joke one, a parody called The Killing Stroke, because she's naked. And yes, I think I turned the Joker into a sexy lady. So it's not like a weird Joker body. It's just a hot
No, that was
lady
good.
with
I
great
liked
hair.
it.
And then I also have a very famous Superman parody that I did, which was a lot of fun to work on. I actually had to commission somebody to do the font for me, Vinny, because I couldn't replicate the Superman logo 1-to-1. So I was like, hey, dude, on Facebook, I made a post, and like in a couple hours, this guy had this for me. So it was a lot of fun to really collaborate with people on the project. And so, folks, go to titsandart.com. I ship them out every Friday, and so I go to the post office when I see the order numbers go up. So I'll be there Friday because I see the numbers going up. And be on the lookout for Wokebusters updates. Give you more updates on that all the time. And like I said, I'm going to give everyone a chance for Stealing Solo. The reprint edition covers with the good Stealing Solo one, not the Phantom Menace. If there's a demand one day, maybe we'll bring that back. There's no reason why I can't do anything with it. Where's the Phantom Menace? So I do. It's weird though, Vinny. I got like a box full of people here. Like here's a whole stack of Ethan magnets. I got a stack of me. I got all these people. It's weird. Like they live with us all the time. Like yeah, here's this set that's got everybody in it: Jesse, Anna, Ethan, Cecil, Waller.
I have all those on my deep freeze.
Well, thank you. I have a couple on my refrigerator. It's weird to see myself on my own refrigerator, but whatever.
It's funny.
It's your art. Yes, sir.
It is. It's the art. I'm very happy to see it out there. But let's close it out, man. Where can people find Survivors?
Well, before I tell them where they can pick up Everlasting Survivors from Gamble Comics, I would like to say that if you cannot back, I totally understand. But if you could, because it costs you $0, if you could go to Mr. MR Super Oz and click subscribe, that's my YouTube channel. Every Monday we do Monday Movie Mayhem. Every Wednesday is the Wednesday Rewind, where I watch old TV shows and review old TV. Every Friday it's a grab bag of stuff. This Friday will be my first impressions of WWE 2K23. Next Friday will be me and my friend Josiah talking about Alpha Entertainment Worldwide. If you don't know what that is, it is the corporate merger of World Championship Wrestling and World Wrestling Federation after the invasion. But you'll figure that all out if you watch the Wednesday Night Wrestling Remix, which was a whole program that rebooked the entire Nitro during the Monday Night War. Like I said, it's all fun stuff, but it's all really just an excuse to do a commercial each episode for Everlasting Survivors Volume 1 all day long, which is currently now live on Indiegogo. There are multiple ways to back. My favorite is the all-in on Gamble Comics pack, where you get the shirt, the hat, you get 3 covers, you get 2 posters, you get a sticker, you get all kinds of stuff. But again, I understand if that's too rich for your blood and you want to get real precise about it. So here's Fabri's cover and his poster. This is Fabri's poster and his cover. There's also one with Jeff's new art for his cover. That's actually what I was originally trying to say. And his poster. So you get an 11x17 poster and the new C cover book. If you keep going down, there's a perk called a pair of Hicks. Actually, this is the hat and the shirt alone. But anyway, there's a pair of Hicks perk. And that perk gets you one of the very few still available and will never be printed again cover A's, this right here, along with Jeff's cover C. Does it say how many have been picked up on there, sir?
2 out of 15 so far.
Okay, so there are 13 still available of that cover. No more will ever be printed. There were only ever 100 printed, period. This here is the Nick Crook cover B. There were only ever 50 of these printed. How many are still left on that?
There's 2 out of 18 claimed.
Okay, so then there are 16 of these that are still able to be gotten, but once they sell out, those cover A's and cover B's will never be printed again. There will only be 100 of Jeff's cover A and only ever be 50 of Nick Crook's cover B. Yeah, so again, it was a great project, lots of fun, big time action, heartfelt stuff, people that, aren't being praised for nothingness, people who, look good, people who do the right thing, but there are still things that go down that create struggles within their life. It's a really good story, and yes, if I'll stop saying if when this project does well, then there's a script ready for Dom, the blue character's origin. It is super fun. Actually, I'll be honest, it's really sad, but it's sprinkled in sad parts. There's a lot of fun because, but yeah, it's great. I'm telling you. So like, Dominic Canuho is named after a friend of mine who I deployed with. She's no longer with us. That's where he gets the last name Canuho. It's a passion project. I love it. Everything in it is in some way a callback to my life. That's why one of the characters is a professional wrestler. Another one, he does movies, and I worked in TV. Like, there's just so many pieces of me throughout the story. And yeah, I can't wait to be able to give or get more of the story out to people. And thank you all for having me on. It was a pleasure. I can remember being nervous to be on screen. When I first launched the campaign the first time, nobody knew I existed, so not that many people backed because, why would you? I understand. It makes sense. But that's why I started the channel, Mr. Super Oz, to get the story out there, to get that personal connection. Because I know myself personally, when I first met Colt Cabana, professional wrestler Colt Cabana, I said, I feel like that we're friends because I listen to The Art of Wrestling all the time. He asked me what my name was. We shook hands. He was like, hey, look at that. Now we do know each other. And so that's the type of relationship that I want on the channel and with all the backers is for you to feel something for these characters the same way I do. That way we can work together to ensure that the story continues.
I'm excited for the story to continue, and keep me involved with covers. I would like to keep drawing stuff as the story continues. I have fun with this, man.
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of working together, no matter where you're at, is that, whether it's across town or across the country, we can still make things happen.
Hell yeah. Dude, I've never had the opportunity to meet Vinnie in person, but I feel like I've known him forever. Drew, I hung out with you. Actually, Drew, we had a really awesome time at dinner. So
yes, it was an epic dinner.
What was that, Oz? You cut out, man.
Oh, sorry. I said after the show is over, I'd love to talk to Vinnie about getting a piece, getting him to work on a piece for Everlasting Survivors.
Well,
Yeah, man.
you guys
We
talk.
can talk after.
Appreciate it, sir.
Folks, this has been a wonderful time. Make sure that you tell everybody about these projects. Go out and tweet about Challenges or Everlasting Survivors. Go out and tweet about Shadow of the Kraken, City of Venus, Through the Woods, Vinnie's projects, and make sure you guys go tweet out about Drew's projects from Merc Publishing, because, guys, honestly, tweet it out. People will be like, oh, yeah, I know that comic book. Dude, these covers are everywhere. It's rolling out across America. It couldn't be happening to a nicer guy. So, folks, go back, everybody here tonight, all of us, me included, and check out what we're going to have next in the future. Now, I'll be back tomorrow night with another podcast, WCBS episode 348. We're getting closer to 400. 400 is going to be an all-new, all-different world-class bullshitters. You don't even know what's happening, so just keep watching, folks. We like to gradually change things. But tomorrow night's going to be all the same fun, word of the day, great topics. Dion's there. Kendo's there, Nick's there, I'm there. WCBS will be complete.
Very cool. Oh, by the way, real quick too. As soon as this is over, I'll be headed over to Angelus Draven's, and we're gonna be watching some AEW. So we're doing that again tonight.
MJF.
Yeah. Some fun stuff over there.
I really hope MJF's at the show on Saturday.
I do too.
Dude,
even though I'm not gonna be there, I want you to see him.
Dude,
all right, folks.
He's been crushing it.
Dude, he's their best champion. Is he their first? Well, no, I guess Hangman Adam Page is their first homemade champion, but MJF's better. I'll keep that for another show.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thank you for joining us tonight. Like I said, back all the creators here tonight. It's going to change the world of entertainment. But until next time, folks, be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other. And now I get to press a special button to close out the show, and I think I'll do this one for you guys.
Do you want one beer?